The Vortex. We present Joan Greenwood, Richard Bryars with Margaret Robertson and Rolf Lefevre in the play by Noel Coward, first produced at the Everyman Theatre, Hampstead in November 1923, when the author played the part of Nicky. The Vortex.
I'm expecting Mrs. Lancaster in at any moment now, ma'am.
Thank you, Preston. We'll wait a little.
Shall I get you some tea?
No, thank you. We've already had some.
Very good, ma'am.
Give me a cigarette, Pawnee. They're in that box on the table.
Here you are, Helen.
Thank you.
It may be tiresome of me, but I think all this colouring is oppressive.
You make such a fetish of house decoration, Pawnee.
No, not at all, but I do like things to be good and right.
Well, I don't consider the new frieze in your bathroom either good or right.
How can you, Helen? It's too marvellous for words. Pirelli designed it especially for me.
Personally, it would make me self-conscious to sit in a bath surrounded by frisky gods and goddesses, all with such better figures than mine.
I find it encouraging. This whole room is so typical of Florence.
What way?
Every way. Look at the furniture.
Little artificial, perhaps, but quite harmless.
Dear Helen, you're such a loyal friend.
I'm very fond of Florence.
We all are. Oh, my God, look at that lampshade.
I gave it to her last Christmas.
Wasn't that a little naughty of you?
I don't see why. It's extremely pretty.
Too unrestrained. Such a bad example to the servants. What a hideous frame. Who's this boy?
Tom Varian. You must have seen him.
Florence's past, present, or future?
Present.
He has that innocent look that never fails to attract elderly women.
Don't be a cat.
I wasn't meaning Florence. She's too divine to be in any marked category.
I wonder.
Oh, yes, Helen, deathless sort of magnetism, you know.
I often wonder what will happen to Florence eventually.
Oh, my dear, I'm far too occupied in wondering what's going to happen to me to worry about other people.
I always thought your course was quite clear, Pawnee.
However offensive that remark was intended to be, Helen, I shall take it in the most complimentary spirit.
I'm sure you will.
I expect Florence will just go on, then suddenly become quite beautifully old and go on still more.
Oh, it's too late for her now to become quite beautifully old, I'm afraid. She'll have to be young indefinitely.
I don't suppose you'll mind that, but it's trying for David.
And fiendish for Nicky.
Oh, no, my dear, quite wrong there. I'm sure Nicky doesn't care a damn.
It's difficult to tell with Nicky.
He's divinely selfish. All amusing people are.
Did you hear him play in Paris?
Yes.
Well?
Erratic. One or two things perfect, but he's slovenly.
He only takes things seriously in spurts. But still, he's very young.
Do you really think that's a good excuse?
No, I'm afraid not. Especially when so much depends on it.
What does depend on it?
Everything. His life's happiness.
Don't be so terribly intense, dear.
It's true.
I'm quite sure Nicky will be perfectly happy as long as he goes on attracting people. He loves being attractive.
Naturally, he's Florence's son.
Such an exciting thing to be.
You don't believe Nicky's got anything in him at all, do you?
Oh, I don't think it matters anyway.
I do.
But you've got a loving nature, Helen. I always knew it.
Nicky hasn't had a chance.
Nonsense. He's had everything he wanted ever since the day he was born, and he'll go on wasting his opportunities until he dies.
Quite possibly.
Well, there you are, then.
He may have had everything he wanted, but he's had none of the things he really needs.
Are you talking socially or spiritually?
You're quite right, Pawnee. You wouldn't be so beautifully preserved if you'd wasted any of your valuable time on sincerity.
I forgive you for that, Helen, freely.
Thank you so much.
You must realize one thing. Everyone is sacrificed to Florence. It's as it should be. Of course, she's a couple of 100 years too late. She ought to have been a flaunting, intriguing king's mistress with black page boys and jade bars and things too divine.
Miss Hibbert.
Clara!
My dears. Oh, isn't Florence back yet?
No, we're waiting for her.
Oh,
You look harassed, Clara.
I am harassed.
Why?
I'm singing tonight for Laura Tennant. She's giving a dreadful reception at her dreadful house with some dreadful ambassador.
How dreadful.
No one will listen to me, of course. They'll all be far too busy avoiding the cup and searching for the champagne.
What are you singing?
Oh, one Gabriel Fauré, two Reynaldo Anne, and an aria.
Which aria?
Oh, I can't think. My accompanist will know. I've got a frightful headache.
Why don't you take off your hat?
I daren't. I've just had my hair done. I suppose you haven't got a cachet-fèvre, either of you?
No, but Florence has, I expect. Preston will know where they are. Ring the bell, Pawnee.
Oh, my poor Clara. I do hope your singing tonight will justify the fuss you're making this afternoon.
Don't be so brutal, Pawnee.
Is Gregory going with you?
But of course, I never sing unless he's there. He gives me such marvellous moral support.
Moral is hardly the word I should have chosen, dear.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know if Mrs. Lancaster has any cachet-fèvre anywhere?
Yes, ma'am, I think so.
Oh, do get me one, Preston. I'm suffering tortures.
Very well, miss.
Preston has such wonderful poise, hasn't she?
She needs it in this house.
I do wish Florence would hurry up. I want to borrow her green fan. I've got a new patou frock that positively demands it.
Oh, she can't be long now.
I suppose I daren't ask Preston for the fan and creep away with it.
I shouldn't if I were you. Florence is very touchy over that sort of thing.
Well, she promised it to me ages ago.
Well, surely there isn't such a desperate hurry. You won't be singing until about 11:30.
My dear, I've got to rehearse, and I don't know a word. Tu m'appelais, je... Oh.
Shall I put it down for you here, ma'am?
Oh, you're a saint, Preston. Thank you 1,000 times.
Soak it a little first, dear, or you'll choke. I should attest that.
Now, I must lie down flat. Get out of the way, Helen.
Perhaps you'd like us both to go right out of the room and sit in the hall.
No, Pawnee. I should never expect the least consideration from you.
Lift your head, dear. There you are.
Thank you, Helen, darling. I shall always come to you whenever I'm ill.
That will be nice.
Thank you, Tom.
Here we go.
Helen, Pawnee. Have you been here long?
No, only a few hours.
Oh, my dear, I'm so frightfully sorry. We've been held up for ages in the traffic. Davis is a congenital idiot. Always manages to get to a turning just as the policeman puts out his hand. No initiative whatsoever. What's happened to Clara? Has she been run over?
No, dear. I've got a frightful head.
Pawnee, you know Tom, don't you? Tom Varian, Mr. Quentin. I'm sure you'll adore each other.
How are you? Very well, thank you. How sweet of you to ask me.
Is there anything I can do, Clara?
Yes, dear. Lend me your green fan for tonight.
All right, but you won't get too carried away with it, will you, dear? I should hate the feathers to come out. Does anyone want any tea?
No, thanks, dear.
Cocktails, then?
It's too early.
It's never too early for a cocktail.
I should like to go quite quietly into a convent and never see anybody again, ever.
Gregory would be bored stiff in a convent.
Oh, we've just been to the most frightful charity matinee. Nothing but inaudible speeches from dreary old actors and leading ladies nudging one another all over the stage.
You rang, huh?
Cocktails, Preston. And ask Barker to wrap up my green fan for Miss Hibbert to take away with her.
Very good, huh?
Oh, you're an angel, Florence. I think I'll sit up now.
Do, dear. Then Tom will be able to sit down.
Well, I really do feel most peculiar.
You look far from normal, dear.
If Pawn is rude to me anymore, Florence, I shall burst into tears.
Tom, give me a cigarette.
Oh, here are some.
No. Tom has rather a special hearty kind that I adore.
Lend me your lipstick, Helen. Mine's sunk down into itself.
Here you are.
Oh, what a lovely colour. I look far prettier than I feel.
Thank you, Tom Angel.
I shan't be able to get down to the house until Saturday evening, Florence. I'm seeing Gregory off to Newcastle.
Why Newcastle?
Well, his home's just near there. Isn't it too awful for him?
Well, wind me the time of your train, won't you?
Of course, dear.
You're smelling divinely, Florence. What is it?
It is good, isn't it?
Narcisse Noir of Caron. I use it.
Yes, you would, Pawnee.
Here is the fan, miss.
Oh, thank you so much. You are sweet, Florence. The fan gives me such a feeling of security when I'm singing modern stuff. I must rush now.
Don't you want a cocktail before you go?
No, darling. I should only hiccup all the evening. Oh. Well, goodbye. You've been such a comfort. Goodbye, Helen.
Yeah.
And Pawnee, you will be nicer to me over the weekend, won't you? I shall be so depressed, what with Gregory going away and everything. Goodbye, Tom.
Toodle-o.
I shall dine in bed and give Wade every paw.
Poor Clara. She eternally labours under the delusion that she really matters.
We all do that a little.
You're awfully cruel to her, Pawnee.
She upsets my vibrations.
Oh, I've taken a sudden hatred to this hat. Oh, there, that's better. Are you going to the New Elaine tonight, either of you?
I'm not, but Pawnee is, of course.
It's going to be amazing. What a cast, my dear. Marvellous Selwyn Steele, and Nora Dean, and that perfect woman, Lily Burfield.
I can't stand her. She'll always overact.
How can you, Helen? Did you see her in Simple Faith?
Yes, unfortunately.
Oh, you really are too tiresome for words.
Her technique creaks like machinery.
It's sacrilege. It's too marvellous.
Shall I put them down here, Mum?
What do you think about it, Tom? Yes, thanks, Preston.
I've never seen her, Florence.
Yes, you have, about 3 months ago at the comedy. Give Helen a glass, Pawnee.
Oh, I don't remember.
Don't remember. An artist like that? Good God, it's agony.
You look awfully tired at dinner time, Pawnee, if you don't calm down a little.
This is special. My own invention.
Absolutely delicious. Isn't it, Tom?
But too sweet.
Tom, darling, don't be so taciturn. He's always taciturn after a matinee.
When's Nicky coming back?
Tomorrow, isn't it too divine? He's been away for a whole year, but I saw him for a moment on my way through Paris last month.
Has he been working hard?
I suppose so, but you know what Nicky is, bless his heart.
I heard him play at Yvonne Mirabeau's.
Oh, she is a loathsome woman, isn't she?
Not as bad as that.
She's a half-wit. I can't bear half-wits.
She goes on so dreadfully about things, devastating.
Funny Nicky liking her so much.
Only because she keeps on saying how wonderful he is. That always appeals to Nicky.
How old is he now?
24. Isn't it absurd to think I have such a grown-up son? Old General Fenwick said last Thursday, but... Oh. Hello. Yes, my dear. How are you? Oh, yes, so am I absolutely worn out. Now, when? Oh, how perfectly marvelous. No, dear, it's a prescription, but I can let you have a little in a jar. No, quite easy. All you have to do is just rub it on at night. Don't be silly, not in the least. If you send the car around, that'll be all right. Very well. Goodbye, darling. Oh, I give Clara Hibbert 10 for stupidity, don't you?
110.
10's the limit.
I'd say, Florence, I think I'd be getting along if I've got to be dressed and back here by 7:30.
You've got half an hour.
That's not very much.
The car's outside. Take it and send it straight back.
Can it drop me, Florence, dear? I always feel so much richer in your car than anyone else's.
Of course, Pawnee. Oh. Hello. Yes, speaking. How do you do?
Goodbye, Helen. It's been too divine.
Bring me up at tea time tomorrow, Pawnee.
Oh, how perfectly sweet of you. Now, really. Well, naturally, if you persist in saying such charming things. Oh, what nonsense.
Bye, Florence.
Oh, it's that awful General Fenwick. Goodbye, Pawnee, dear. You're coming down to the house on Friday.
Yes, too lovely.
Helen's coming by the 5 o'clock. You'd better travel together.
Perfect. Are you ready, Verian?
Quite.
You can drop me first, can't you? I'm not as young as I was.
Yes, of course.
Please forgive me. People rushing in and out. This house grows more like a railway station every day. Now, General, that was a deliberate compliment. You are a ridiculous man. Very well. Goodbye. My God, 10 for dreariness.
Oh, he's not a bad old thing.
Nobody tries to be, and that's what's so frightful. Oh, I look like death. Isn't Tom a darling?
Yes, dear, without being aggressively brilliant.
I'm afraid, Helen, you're getting rather bitter.
Nonsense.
Well, it's silly to be sarcastic about Tom.
Better than being maudlin about it.
I don't know what you mean, dear. I'm not in the least bit maudlin and never have been about anybody. I sometimes wish I could. I'm too hard.
Tom will let you down.
Let me down? Why? How, I don't understand.
You're more in love with him than he is with you.
Oh, don't be absurd, Helen.
It's true.
He adores me, worships me. He's never seen anyone like me before in his life. I'm something strange, exotic.
You're more in love with him than he is with you.
You're getting on my nerves today, Helen.
You do see that I'm right, don't you?
If you knew some of the things he's said to me.
I can guess them.
That boy was utterly unawakened before he met me.
He's very young.
I've taught him everything.
Or nothing.
Helen, I believe you're jealous.
Don't be a fool.
I wish I hadn't this fatal knack of seeing through people.
How's David?
I don't know. Well, you ought to be home soon.
Doesn't he ever suspect anything?
Of course not. He adores me.
It seems so strange not to see.
I'm devoted to David. I'd do anything for him, anything in the world. But he's grown old, and I've kept young. Well, he does muddle things up so. I can't help having a temperament, can I?
Temperament, no.
David's always loved me and never understood me. You see, I'm such an extraordinary mixture. I've so many sides to my character. I adore being at home and running the house and looking after David and
You don't
Nicky.
exactly overdo it.
Well, Nicky's been away for such ages. Also, one must be in London for the season. You can't expect me to bury myself in the country indefinitely. I shall be there practically all through the spring and the summer.
Ooh, lovely tennis parties and cricket weeks and things.
Certainly.
You're a divine creature, Florence.
Am I? Oh. Hello? Yes, speaking. It's Inez Juliet. I never went to her recital. Inez, darling, I never recognized your voice. Didn't you get my note? Oh, no, it was absolutely true. I was in agony. Inez, don't be angry. If you only knew how I long for the sound of your wonderful, wonderful voice. Darling Inez, don't be cruel. Tomorrow, then. I do wish Inez weren't so persistent.
You never stop encouraging her.
Oh, Helen, I'm so tired of everyone.
Except Tom.
Yes, except Tom. He's such a darling.
How do you think he and Nicky will get on?
Marvelously. Tom loves music.
He says he does.
My dear, I took him to that Russian thing the other day and he sat entranced from beginning to end.
Poor Nicky.
Why'd you say that?
Because I sometimes feel it.
Oh, I wonder why we're such friends. We're so opposite. You don't understand me a bit. I used to think you did, but you've been different lately, unsympathetic.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have, over Tom. I believe you're in love with him yourself.
No, it isn't that.
Anyhow, you can't bear him being in love with me.
I don't think he is, really. Oh, I quite realize he was very violently infatuated. That's wearing off a bit now. I'm beginning to see him as he is.
No, it's not true. You don't understand.
We are friends, Florence, though we're so opposite. Do you really know the truth inside you, or is all this shrill vanity real?
What's the matter with you?
You're 10 years older than I am. But when I'm your age, I shall be 20 years older than you.
Darling, how deliciously involved. What can you mean by that?
I mean, I think it's silly not to grow old when the time comes.
Helen! Oh, what on earth's that? Nicky!
Mother.
Oh, but I'd no idea. I thought you were coming tomorrow.
No, today I wrote to you.
Oh, I'm terribly, terribly excited.
Helen, dear, how are you?
Splendid, Nicky.
I can't get over your arriving like this. I never realized.
Silly. You're looking awfully well.
Am I?
Wonderful as usual.
I was talking to George Morrison only last Thursday.
The man who wrote that fearful book.
It isn't a fearful book. It's brilliant. Anyway, he absolutely refused to believe that I had a grown-up son.
My dears, I must fly.
Oh, don't go yet,
I
Helen.
must. I'm hours late as it is.
We'll be a little later then.
Remember, 5 o'clock train on Friday.
Oh, is she coming down to the house? Divine.
Yes, if Florence is still speaking to me. Goodbye.
Have you been having a scene?
No, dear.
She's a darling, Helen.
Extremely stupid and tactless sometimes.
It doesn't feel as I've been away at all.
Oh, I've missed you appallingly. We had such a short time together in Paris. Did you enjoy all my letters?
I adored them. So did John Baggett. I used to read most of them aloud to him. He's mad on you. He saw your picture in the Tatler or something and fell in love with it.
Is he nice?
He's grand.
We must all dine at the embassy. When's he coming to England?
Not until after Christmas.
Oh, you must see my new photographs. They are wonderful.
Oh, it's heavenly being back.
Look.
I don't like that one.
Oh, how can you, Nicky? Tom likes that one the best of all.
Who's Tom?
Tom Varian, he's a dear. You'll like him frightfully. You know, the very nicest type of Englishman.
I hate the very nicest type of Englishman.
Now, don't be tiresome, Nicky. He's only 24, and they all think so well of him.
All who?
Well, all his officers and people. He's in the brigade.
Oh. Oh, now, that one really is enchanting. Oh, they've got your hair beautifully. Oh, yes, my dear, it's perfect.
It is good. Oh, she's sweet, Madam Henderson. She simply won't hear of my paying for these. She says it's quite sufficient to be allowed to exhibit them in the window.
Is anyone dining this evening?
No. Oh, dear, I'd forgotten. I'm dining out with Tom.
Oh, I see.
Oh, your first night home, too. How perfectly fiendish. What a fool I am to have muddled it up.
It doesn't matter, darling.
Oh, but it does. I wonder whether we could get another seat.
Seat? What for?
We're going to the first night of the new Elaine. It's going to be marvellous.
Who's in it?
Nora Dean and Selwyn Steele.
Oh, God.
Well, it's silly of you to always jeer at Selwyn Steele. He's a brilliant actor. If only he could get away from his wife.
I couldn't bear him tonight anyway. I'm tired. Is Father home yet?
No, I don't think so. Oh, I do feel such a beast.
Don't be silly. Honestly, I don't mind a bit.
I know. You have a nice, quiet dinner here and join us at the embassy afterwards.
Is it a late night?
Yes, they play the most heavenly tune there now. Tom always makes them do it over and over again. I'll put it on.
How's Iris?
Oh, my dear, don't speak of her.
Why, what's she done?
She's been absolutely foul.
In what way?
Everywhere. I never trusted her, luckily. Thank God I've got an instinct about people. Listen. Isn't this marvelous? She said the most filthy things to Gloria Craig about me. I always knew she was insanely jealous, but there are limits. I loathe being at people's beck and call. Oh, come and dance.
I'm sorry, Roud. I rather liked her.
Well, only because she kept on saying how wonderful you were. She doesn't know a thing about music, really.
Oh, yes, she does.
It's all merely bluff, all that appreciation. Darling, how oddly you're dancing.
Well, it's probably because we haven't danced together for so long.
Anyhow, now she's gone off to Monte Carlo with Viola Fenchurch. Silly fool.
Nicky, my boy.
Hello, Father.
I thought Florence said tomorrow.
Well, Mother muddled it up.
You look rather tired.
I'm splendid. How's everything?
Oh, same as usual. I've made lots of improvements down at the house.
David thinks and talks of nothing but the farm.
It's beginning to pay a bit. Peterson's an awfully good man.
We'll make a grand tour of it on Sunday.
And have you enjoyed yourself in Paris?
Oh, yes, rather. It's a splendid place to work.
It never struck me that way quite, but still.
Sophie de Molinac said Nicky's playing had improved enormously.
I'm so glad, Nicky.
I've been doing some Spanish stuff lately.
I wish I knew more about it.
Never mind, Father.
Well, come to my room and talk. I can't bear that thing.
Oh, Father's such a beast. He never will dance with me.
Is the evening news anywhere about?
Yes, here.
Oh, thanks. I'm so glad you're home again, Nicky. Now, don't forget, come and talk.
Oh, David's so much happier in the country.
Why on earth doesn't he retire and live at the house for good?
Work has become such a habit with him. He's always hated giving up habits.
Mother, I've got something rather important to tell you.
Oh, darling, how thrilling. What is it?
I'm engaged to be married.
What?
Practically. As much as one can be these days.
Nicky.
Don't look so stricken.
Oh, but Nicky, I never sort of visualized you being engaged or married or anything.
Why not?
You're not old enough.
I'm 24.
Well, you don't look it, thank God.
What do you really feel about it, Mother?
Darling, I hardly know what to say. You've sprung it on me so suddenly. Who is she?
A girl called Bunty Mannering.
Well, what a silly name.
It isn't at all. It's very attractive.
Is she an actress or a student or what?
Neither. She's what is technically termed a lady.
Do you think she'll like me?
She went mad over your photograph.
Which one?
The looking out of the window one.
Ah, now that really is one of the best I've ever had done.
She said you had the face of a heroic little boy.
What a divine thing to say.
She does say divine things. She's supremely intelligent.
Is she in Paris?
No, she came over with me today.
Where does she live?
We're just round the corner in Carberry Square.
Oh, near the Churchingtons.
Well, it's her mother's house, but her mother's away just now, so I asked her to change quickly and come on here.
Nicky.
Oh, why not? I wanted you to see her as soon as possible.
It's an awful shock, you know.
Oh, nonsense, Mother. You're quite excited about it, really?
I shall be charming to her.
Then she'll adore you at once. Probably too much. I shall be jealous.
You'd better both dine here together and come on to the embassy. How old is she?
23.
What does she do?
Nothing much. She writes things occasionally.
Where did you meet her?
Oh, first of all, at a party at Olive Lloyd Kennedy's.
I can't bear Olive Lloyd Kennedy. She's a cat.
Then I met her again at Marion Fawcett's, a frightful sort of reception affair. She was staying with her.
She seems to move exclusively among my worst enemies. Is she pretty?
I don't know. I haven't really noticed.
Nicky, darling, I really do feel so extraordinary about it.
Why extraordinary?
It's a milestone, isn't it? You being engaged. A definite milestone. Oh, look at my nose. Oh, I hope she'll like me. I must go and dress. Now, Tom's fetching me at 7:30. Bring her to my room when she comes.
Well, don't go for a minute.
I must really. Tom will be furious.
Oh, damn, Tom.
Oh, Nicky. Now, don't go and take one of your tiresome prejudices against him.
All right, I'll try not to.
He's frightfully good-looking.
Oh?
And he adores music.
Now then, Mother...
He does, honestly.
Good.
And he dances beautifully.
I shall never stop dancing with
And
him.
he's so good at games.
He sounds adorable.
Of course, he needs knowing.
So do I.
You will make an effort, though, darling, won't you? For my sake.
Yes, Mother.
And we'll all have a divine time together, Tom and me and you and what's her name?
Bunty.
Oh, yes, of course, Bunty.
Oh, this is her, I expect.
Do you feel wonderful about her?
Yes.
It is thrilling, isn't it, being in love?
Yes.
Your father was right. You look awfully tired, Nicky.
What nonsense. I feel grand.
Miss Mannering.
Bunty. You have been quick.
I've simply flown.
Bunty. Here is Mother.
Oh. This is frightfully exciting, isn't it?
I've told her.
Are you furious?
Of course not. Why should I be? Especially now.
It's absolutely incredible, you being Nicky's mother.
Am I anything like you thought I'd be?
Yes, exactly. But I couldn't believe it until I saw you.
Take off that perfectly divine cloak and have a cigarette. I've got to rush and dress now because I'm terribly late. But you're dining here with Nicky and joining Tom Verrian and me at the embassy afterwards.
Tom Verrian?
Yes. You know him?
I did when I was a child, if it's the same one.
Nicky, I don't feel extraordinary anymore about it. I'm delighted.
Angel.
Now, perhaps Bunty would like to come down to the house on Friday for the weekend.
Oh, yes, marvelous.
That's awfully sweet of you, Mrs. Lancaster.
No, you must call me Florence. I can't bear Mrs. Lancaster. I must fly. Tom will be here any moment. That's him on the desk.
Yes, it is the same one.
You are too divine. Oh. Hello. Yes, speaking. Elsa, darling, how are you? What? Tonight? Oh, how perfectly heavenly. Of course, I'd adore it. Listen, Nicky is just back from Paris. Can he come too with Bunty Mannering? Yes, he's here. See you tonight, dear. Here, Nicky, talk to Elsa. I'm so glad about you and Nicky. It's too wonderful.
Hello, Elsa. I'd no idea you were in London. I'm terribly thrilled. My dear, you haven't. All those lovely tunes you played to me in Paris. How amazing. I am glad. Have you done anything with that tango? You must play it tonight. I want Bunty to hear it. It is perfect, isn't it? Goodbye, dear. Bunty,
What?
I'm terribly happy.
So am I.
Do you remember how we planned all this? Coming home together and breaking it to Mother and everything?
Rather.
Do you really like her?
I adore her. She's a perfect angel.
I told her your heroic little boy line. She loved it.
It's true, you know. Rather defiant, too, laughing at fate.
Doesn't Paris seem ages away now?
A different life altogether.
Oh, that nasty little bit of channel is such an enormous gulf, really. Did you put that dress on purpose?
Perhaps.
You are a devil.
It's such fun being reminded of things.
And such agony, too.
Nicky, darling, why agony?
It was always agony being in love. When I started loving you in that dress.
Did you?
Don't pretend you didn't know.
I suppose one always knows, really.
From the very first moment.
Yes.
A sort of spark.
Your playing helped a lot.
I meant it to.
You calculating pig.
Have a cigarette.
All right.
I wish we weren't so free.
Why? What do you mean?
Oh, I feel I should like to elope or something violently romantic like that.
Well, there wouldn't be much point in it now, would there?
Perhaps not. How much do you love me?
I don't know.
It's fun analysing one's emotions.
Marvellous fun.
And a comfort, too, when things go wrong. But it kills sentiment stone dead.
Good job, too.
Oh, you're frightfully hard, Bunty.
Am I?
Much harder than me, really.
You've got so much hysteria.
I can't help it.
Of course not. It's your temperament. You burst out suddenly.
Not so badly as I used to.
You're growing older.
God, yes. Isn't it foul?
Hell, my dear.
It's funny how Mother's generation always longed to be old when they were young, and we strain every nerve to keep young.
That's because we see what's coming so much more clearly.
Wouldn't it be terrible to know exactly? Oh, I feel frightened sometimes.
Why?
Well, we're all so hectic and nervy.
It doesn't matter. It probably only means we shan't live so long.
Shut up! Shut up!
Mr. Verian.
Ah, how are you? I'm Nicky. I came over today instead of tomorrow.
Oh.
Do you know Bunty Mannering?
But Bunty? I say, I am glad.
Well, we'd better have some cocktails. Chesterton, bring us some cocktails.
This is jolly. I didn't know what had become of you.
I've been living in Paris a good deal.
But how many years ago is it
During
since
the war. The last time I saw you, you were at Sandhurst.
Such a pretty place.
You've hardly altered a bit. More grown up, of course.
All this is most affecting.
Bunty and I used to know one another awfully well.
Oh, what fun.
Nicky.
But it is. It's thrilling. Nothing so charming as a reunion.
Nicky and I have been travelling all day. Boats and trains get on his nerves.
When the cocktails come, tell Preston to bring mine to me in Father's room, will you?
Nicky, don't be so silly.
Well, surely it's not silly to want to talk to my aged father after a year's debauch in Paris. I fail to see why you should have the monopoly of reunions.
Well, don't be long.
Cheerio. Oh, God. What's up?
These temperamental musicians.
Silly ass.
He isn't really. He's only jealous.
Why, is he,
We're by way of being engaged.
What?
Why not?
What, are you in love with him?
Yes, isn't it damnable?
Oh, good Lord.
What are you laughing at?
Well, it seems so funny you being in love with that sort of a chap.
What do you mean by that sort of chap?
Oh, I don't know. Her type seems so unlike you.
Type?
Yes, you know, up in the air, effeminate.
You're more bucolic than you used to be, Tom.
Yeah, I say, old girl, it's a bit thick.
The cocktails, sir.
Oh, will you please take Mr. Nicky's into him in his father's room?
Yes, miss.
Is Mrs. Lancaster nearly ready?
I think so, sir.
Ask her to hurry, we shall be late.
Yes, sir.
I can laugh now.
Why?
I've just realised something.
What?
We shall meet again over the weekend.
Are you coming down to the house?
Yes.
Well, that's splendid. Come for a tramp Sunday morning and we'll talk.
What about?
Oh, lots of things. Old times.
2 old times, Tom.
Cheerio.
It's much too fast, Nicky.
Oh, do slow down a bit.
It's the pace that's marked on the record.
I've never danced well since the war. I don't know why.
But Mr. Merlite, your last act was so strong when she came in half mad with fright and described everything minutely.
I try to write as honestly as possible.
I gave her 3 for manners, but simply charm, because I had to be a little nice.
I thought you were rather decent.
No, but really, Nicky, his technique completely annihilated his inspiration.
Well, not with Debussy and Ravel. With the older masters, yes, he's probably tired of them.
That's so stupid, I think.
My dear Pawnee, it was the most chic thing you've ever seen, but unfortunately the wrong colour.
Marion Phyllis had that borrow model copied in the most frightful blue.
I believe my shoe's coming off. No, it's all right, Tom.
I wonder if you could gouge the cigarette ends out of the holder for me.
I will try.
I always smoke a pipe when I'm working.
How sweet. Well, I suppose one can never really judge properly from a recital, Nicky.
Well, not with him, Bunty. He's not dramatic enough.
Dramatic pianists make me uncomfortable.
You've got to have
Horny, your tongue grows more venomous every day.
I had to say something. Anyhow, it's true.
Especially about her ankle.
Oh, you must come next Sunday week, Tom.
Thanks awfully. I'd love to, Claire.
I'm only singing ballads, but you know what Sunday concerts are.
Oh, yes, rather.
What's on the other side, Nicky?
You've got the cutest ears and eyes and nose.
No.
Do put on Spoony Moon in Upper Carolina.
No, don't put it on, Nicky. Play something yourself. You always make the gramophone go too quickly.
Yes, go on, Nicky.
All right.
Cigarette,
No,
Florence.
thanks, not another. I'm dancing with Tom.
Missing one, Tom.
Righto.
What about this one?
Come on, Noel. Don't overdo the serious granite stunt.
I warn you, I'm no good, Miss Mary.
I'll support you, Nicky.
Horny.
Yes, Helen?
Tom Berrien doesn't dance as well as he thinks he does.
With that figure, he ought to be marvellous.
She's too athletic.
Anyhow, I'm sure he's a success at the Bath Club.
Doesn't Florence look astounding?
Absolutely. She knows exactly what suits her.
Where's David?
He went off to his study to smoke.
I do wish Florence wouldn't be irritable with him in front of everybody. I felt acutely uncomfortable at dinner.
Makes Nicky furious as a rule, but tonight he was too occupied with that stupid little fool Bunty Mannering to take any notice.
She's an excellent type.
Very average. I only hope nothing will come of Nicky's mania for her.
I don't think we need worry.
Why?
Wait and see, my dear.
Come and dance, Bonnie, and tell me how divinely I sang on Tuesday.
You didn't.
Oh, 10 for cruelty.
Don't rob me of ponytail.
You go and sit by Nicky, Helen.
All right, I will.
Come on, you're a lazy old thing. You've just been gossiping with Helen.
You match, Nicky.
Isn't this a marvellous tune?
Fascinating. Darling, I do want to match. Don't stop. I'll get the other pocket. What a divine little box.
Helen, give that to me.
Nicky, dear, don't be so tiresome.
I'm sick of playing. Let's have the gramophone again. Here's a light, darling.
Thanks, Nicky.
Let's have the gramophone.
Whose coffee is this? Someone drank mine. I'd hardly touch it.
If it has no sugar in it, it's mine.
Had no sugar.
You're dancing abominably, Tom.
Am I?
What's the matter with you?
I don't know. I suppose I'm tired.
Well, you're not usually tired when you're dancing with me.
Oh, Florence, don't be mad.
How dare you speak to me like that?
I say, Florence, I'm sorry, old girl.
Let's stop the music for a moment and think of something really marvellous to do.
No, let's go down. Oh, no, I'm exhausted.
Well, what was that divine game we played coming back from Paris, Helen?
Just ordinary clumps, wasn't it?
I loathe clumps.
What about the history game?
Oh, what is that?
No, Nicky, it's too intellectual.
And there's a mahjong set in the drawing room.
Oh, how divine. Let's make up a table immediately.
I won't be happy until someone gives me a set made entirely of jade.
Come on, Bunty.
I can't play it. Ask Tom.
You can. You used to play it in Paris with Yvonne.
I've forgotten it.
You'll soon remember again.
Come along, Clara.
No, I insist on Mr. Fairlight learning.
I'm afraid I'm no good at that sort of
You'll be able to put it in one of your plays.
Come and watch. It's too thrilling for words.
You only one set, Florence?
Yes, isn't it maddening? Clara promised to bring hers down, but forgot.
Does Bruce Fairlight play bridge?
No, I don't think so.
Dramatists are such a comfort in a house party, aren't they?
Aren't you going, Florence?
No, Tom.
Oh.
But please, don't let me stop you going. I'm sure you're dying to be with the others.
I say, Florence, I wish you wouldn't go on like that.
I don't know what's the matter with you. You've never behaved like this before.
I haven't behaved like anything.
You've been exceedingly rude to me, both at dinner and afterwards.
I wasn't at dinner.
Yes, you were. You snapped me up when I said I didn't like Elsie Saunders.
You know perfectly well she's a friend of mine.
Well, she oughtn't to be after the things she said about me.
You will go on imagining.
Nothing of the sort. I know. If you weren't so dense, you'd see, too, the jealousy I have to put up with. I get so tired of it all. So desperately tired.
Talk about being different. You're different, too.
I'm unhappy.
Why?
Because I hate to see you being put against me.
Oh, Florence.
No, you'll understand one day. They're all very subtle, but I can see.
Nobody said a word to me about you, and they better not try.
Why? What would you do?
Why, I'd be furious.
Oh.
And I'd let them see it, too.
Tom.
Yes?
I forgive you.
Oh. I can't bear you being angry with me.
Can't you really?
It makes me feel beastly.
Come and sit here.
That's a lovely dress.
It is sweet, isn't it?
You always wear wonderful clothes.
Do I, Tom?
You know you do.
Do you remember the very first time we met?
Rather.
Oh, Oxford's so full of romance, isn't it?
It was when you came down.
Thank you, Tom, dear.
We did have fun.
You used to come up to the matinees and I'd motor you back afterwards.
Ripping.
Oh, that reminds me. I've got seats for Rolling Stones on Tuesday. Don't forget.
But you never said you were going to get them.
Well, it doesn't matter. I thought I did. We'd better dine at Claridge's.
But Florence, I can't come.
Why not?
I promised to go out.
Who with?
Mother.
Can't you put her off? Oh, it's going to be such a good first night.
Well, you see, it's a matter of fact, it's rather awkward. I put her off the other day.
Oh, well, never mind. We'll go some other night.
Hello, Florence. I thought you were in the drawing room.
They're playing mahjong, and there's only one set. I shall break in presently.
Let's go and see how they're getting on.
Yes, do.
Come and play soon.
David, don't you think this is a divine frock?
Very pretty.
You and Helen seem to be very thick at dinner. What were you talking about?
Oh, nothing much. I like Helen.
Only because she flatters you and listens to everything you say.
She doesn't flatter me.
I suppose she was talking about the farm and giving her opinions.
We did discuss the farm a little.
She doesn't know a thing about it, really.
Perhaps not. But it passed the time.
What's the matter, darling?
Oh, Nicky. Nothing. I've got a slight headache.
Why don't you go to bed?
I can't. It's much too early.
Oh, I'm sick of mahjong.
Who's playing now?
Pawnee and Helen and Clara are trying to teach Bruce Fairlight. He's an awful fool at it.
You must get Bunty out of that habit of contradicting everything people say.
I don't see why.
It's bad breeding.
Who cares nowadays? We've all got a right to our opinions.
She seems to forget that I'm much older than she is.
That's no argument, Mother. It's silly only to remember your age when someone says something you don't like.
She's having a bad effect on you.
Nonsense.
You've changed since Paris.
Naturally.
You never used to be rude to me.
Oh, damn, I'm not rude.
Yes, you are.
Well, don't start running down Bunty.
Oh, stop playing. Stop playing.
Oh, God.
What's happening?
Nothing, Helen. Bunty's just putting Nicky against me. I knew she'd try to.
You must be having a delightful evening, Nicky. You leave the drawing room having rowed with Bunty and come here and row with Florence.
Well, Mother's impossible.
No different from what she's always been.
Well, I haven't realized it before.
You haven't been engaged before.
I'm hating this house party.
Don't say that, dear. It's not kind.
You know I don't mean you.
Are you very much in love?
Yes. No. I don't know.
I wonder.
It's utterly devastating anyhow.
When did you meet her?
About 5 months ago.
What was she doing in Paris?
Oh, I don't know. Fooling about.
Splendid.
She's been studying French literature.
Why?
Well, she's going to write herself someday.
Oh, I see.
Helen, do you like her?
I can't tell yet. Yesterday was the first time I'd ever set eyes on her.
She's wonderfully intelligent.
Yes, I'm sure she is.
You don't like her?
I tell you, I'm not sure yet.
It's generally the way. One's friends always hate one another.
It is difficult for you, isn't it?
I should so like you to like her.
Very well, I'll try.
She's utterly opposite to me in every way.
Yes, I see that.
But that's as it ought to be, isn't it?
It depends.
And I need a sort of restraining influence, terribly.
Yes, Nicky.
She's awfully good for me.
Is she?
Yes, she curbs me when I get temperamental and silly.
I always felt you needed encouraging more than curbing.
Oh, aren't you a darling?
I mean it.
You're wrong, though. I'm all over the place.
Anyhow, I do hope you'll be very happy with her.
I don't suppose I shall ever be that. I haven't got the knack.
Do you work hard?
Yes.
Really?
Frightfully.
Liar.
Well, you've seen me in Paris. Studying, all night long until the grey dawn put the guttering candle to shame and my nerveless hands dropped from the keys.
Candles gutter awfully quickly when they're burnt at both ends.
Meaning that I look a debauched wreck of my former self?
Exactly.
If you go on encouraging me at this rate, I shall commit suicide.
You do resent anyone taking a real interest in you, don't you?
I distrust it.
Why?
I don't know. I'm not worth it.
You seem to be suffering from a slight inferiority complex.
Not a bit of it. I'm gay and witty and handsome.
Oh, Nicky, you're so maddening.
Don't be cross, Helen.
I'm one of the few people who really know what you're like, and you won't give me the credit for it.
Do you think you do, honestly?
Yes, and I'm exceedingly worried about you.
You needn't be.
You're sensitive and reserved and utterly foolish.
Thank you. I'm beginning to feel beautifully picturesque.
And you're scared.
Why? What have I to be scared about?
Would you like me to tell you?
No.
Why not?
Because you're a sentimentalist and you see things that aren't there at all.
You're far more sentimental than I.
Oh, darling Helen, you've got such a lovely mind. Like a Christmas card with frosted robins and sheep wandering about in the snow, bleating.
All the same, I should give up drugs if I were you.
Helen.
Well?
I don't know what you mean.
Do you think I can't see?
You're being terribly funny, aren't you?
You fool, you unutterable little fool.
Don't be dramatic, dear.
I thought you had common sense. I credited you with more intelligence than that.
If you persist in being absurd...
Oh, Nicky, don't resist me. Don't fight me. I'm your friend. I wouldn't have said a word if I weren't. You've got to stop it. You haven't gone far yet. There's still time. For God's sake, listen to reason.
Shut up. Don't speak so
Nicky,
loudly.
throw it away.
When did you find out?
Tonight? You know, when you were playing, but I've guessed for ages.
You needn't be frightened, Helen. I only take just the tiniest little bit once in a blue moon.
If anything goes wrong, you'll take a lot. Throw it away.
What could go wrong?
Never mind. Throw it away.
I can't. Look out, someone's coming.
Hello?
Hello, Father.
What's the matter?
Matter? Why?
You look very worried.
Oh, Helen and I have just had a grand heart-to-heart talk. We've undone our back hair, loosened our stays, and wallowed in it.
Oh, I see.
We haven't seen one another for so long. It was inevitable.
You never came and looked at the farm this morning. I waited for you.
I'm awfully sorry, Father. I just went on sleeping.
I'll see you later, Nicky.
All right.
And how do you think your mother's looking?
Splendid. Same as ever.
Would you like a cigar?
No, thanks, Father. I'm not very good at them.
I was just on my way to bed. There are far too many people in the house.
You must be used to that by now.
You ought to stay down here, you know, during the week and get some fresh air.
I've got such millions of things to do in London.
Worth doing?
Well, of course.
You look as though you needed a rest.
You needn't worry about me, Father. I feel splendid.
She seems a nice girl.
Who? Bunty?
Yes. Quiet. Untiresome.
Oh, she's a darling.
When do you propose to get married?
I don't know. The engagement's only a sort of tryout, you know.
Oh, I see. I didn't realize that. I'm so unversed in modern technicalities.
It's her idea, really, just to tread water for a bit.
It sounds an excellent plan.
I'm awfully glad you like her.
Is she musical?
Oh, yes, frightfully.
Good.
Father, I think I will come down here for a few days and work quietly.
If you do that, I'll only go up to London every other day. I see so little of you when you're at the flat.
Well, that's settled then. I wonder what Mother will say.
I'll talk to her.
All right. She won't bother about us much.
No, I don't suppose she will. I think I'll be getting along to bed now. Good night, my boy.
Good night, Father.
stop.
I'm unappreciated, that's what it is. I say, Bunty.
What?
Before you say anything awful to me, I am sorry for being rude just now.
So you ought to be.
Will you forgive me?
Yes, I forgive you.
I've been irritable all evening.
Give me a cigarette, Nicky.
What? Here.
Thanks.
What did you want to talk to me about?
Lots of things. Us.
Oh, I see.
Don't you think it's rather silly being engaged?
No, not at all.
I do.
Just because we bickered a bit tonight?
No, not only because of that.
Why then?
Can't you see?
No.
Well, we're not very suited to one another, are we?
Now, why do you suddenly say that?
Because I've only just realized it.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault particularly.
I'm glad.
It's circumstances and surroundings.
Oh, that can be altered quite easily. We'll change the shape of the house. We'll take all that wall away and turn that into a studio. You love studios, don't you? Then we'll transform the drawing room into an enormous aviary.
It's practically that now.
And we'll take that...
Shut up, Nicky.
I'm only trying to be amenable.
Are you really?
Yes. I'm putting up a sort of defense, Bunty. I have a feeling that you're going to be unpleasant, and I want to establish myself comfortably before you start.
I don't want to be unpleasant, only honest.
You won't let the two run together, will you?
Oh, you're hopeless, hopeless, hopeless.
Yes, I think I am, rather.
Anyway, I'm glad it makes it easier.
Does it?
You're not in love with me, really. You couldn't be.
Please don't say that.
Why don't you face things properly?
One generally has to in the end. I like to put it off for as long as possible.
That's cowardly.
Don't be pompous, darling.
You're a great help, I must say.
Why should I help to destroy my own happiness?
That's self-pity and self-deception.
Why are you going on like this?
Because I tell you, I've realized the truth.
I suppose you've taken a hatred to Mother.
No, not a hatred.
You don't like her?
Not very much.
Well, why not? She likes you?
She detests me.
Oh, nonsense. Why should she?
Because I'm young.
What a filthy thing to say.
It's true.
It's nothing of the sort.
You're so stupid sometimes.
Thank you.
Now, don't let's start bickering again.
We won't discuss Mother anymore, then.
You started it.
Look, I wish I could make you understand her like I do. I mean, she's awfully irritating, I know, but deep down she's marvelous in spite of everything.
Everything.
Yes, everything. But don't be a beast, Bunty. Just try to see her point a little, even if you do dislike her. She is terribly silly about being young, I know. But she's been used to so much admiration and flattery and everything always, she feels she sort of can't give it up. You do see that, don't you? She hasn't really anything in the least comforting to fall back on. She's not clever, I mean, real kind of brain cleverness. Father's no good, I'm no good. And all the time she's wanting life to be as it was instead of as it is. There's no harm in her anywhere. She's just young inside. Can't you imagine the utter foulness of growing old? Especially if you've been lovely and attractive like she was. The beautiful Flo Lancaster. She used to be known as that, you know. I can remember her when I was quite small, coming up to say good night to me and looking too perfectly radiant for words. She used to come to the school, too, sometimes. Everyone used to go mad over her. I used to get frightfully proud and excited.
I've never heard you talk like this before.
I don't think I ever have.
I like you better clear-cut, not blurred by sentiment.
To describe you as hard would be inadequate. You're metallic.
I can see straight.
Can you?
Yes, we could never be happy together.
Perhaps not.
Shall we just finish, then?
Certainly. I'm sorry we were too modern to have an engagement ring. You'd have been able to give it back to me so beautifully.
It'd be ridiculous.
Better than being blurred by sentiment.
Oh, my dear, I'm shattered and I'm going straight to bed. Probably for several weeks.
Why?
Oh, he's coming.
Who's coming?
Bruce Fairlight. I've been teaching him mahjong. These master brains. Agony, dear.
Really interesting, that game.
Yes, I thought you'd like it.
It's interesting psychologically. The concentration and suspense.
Well, I'm right exhausted. Must be the country air.
No, it was too lovely because I started with 2 red dragons in my hand.
I wondered who had them.
One more tune, Nicky, before we go to bed.
Yes, just one.
I'll play I Love You. Such a romantic tune, don't you think, Bunty?
Do.
What time's everyone getting up in the morning?
The 10 o'clock's the best, Helen. We'll have breakfast at 9 downstairs.
You know, but in London I can never do more than nibble a piece of thin toast, and whenever I'm away I eat enormously.
How very peculiar.
Your tone revolts me, Nicky. You must never be irascible with your old friends.
I haven't got any.
Nicky.
Sorry, Helen.
I don't know what's the matter with Nicky. He's been in a vile temper all the evening. His first weekend at home, too.
Oh, such a pity, Mother, when so much trouble has been taken to make me happy and cozy. Come and dance, Bunty.
No, not now, Tom.
Dance with him, Bunty. Chaps must have exercise.
You dance with Bunty Pawnee and I'll dance with Tom. Come on.
Right, sir.
The great thing in this world is not to be obvious, Nicky. Over anything.
You are infuriating, Helen. It's a wonderful book.
Thoroughly second-rate.
What do you think about Mischievous Passion, Fairlight?
I never read novels on principle.
Well, you must read this. It's colossal.
Don't be led away by Pawnee, Mr. Fairlight. He has no discrimination.
I tell you, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Nonsense.
There are times, Helen, when I can willingly see you dead at my feet.
A little slower, Nicky. For heaven's sake.
How's that?
I think you'd better go to bed, Nicky.
We're all going anyhow.
Not yet, please, Mummy dear. I'm having such a lovely time.
Take it off, Pawnee.
I always knew the continent was fatal for the young.
Nicky's upset. It's my fault we're not engaged anymore.
Why? What's happened?
Nothing happened, Florence. It was never very serious, really.
I had a feeling that it was, Bunty.
You were wrong, Helen.
Well, I must say it's all been rather abrupt.
It's better to finish things off at once, cleanly, if you're not quite sure, don't you think, Florence?
Well, I'm sorry, Bunty, but if you feel like that, there's nothing more to be said.
I wouldn't have mentioned it at all, only you all seem to be blaming him for being irritable.
Poor Nicky.
I really must go up to bed now. Oh, I'm so tired. Good night, Florence, dear.
Good night, Clara. Breakfast at 9. Have you got books and everything you want?
Yes, thanks. Good night, everyone.
Good night, Clara.
Tom, be an angel and fetch me a glass of milk. It's in the drawing room.
All right, Florence.
Oh, come on up, Florence. I'm dead.
Oh, so am I, Helen. Will you turn out the light, Pawnee, when you come?
With beautiful precision, dear.
Oh, tell Tom to bring my milk up to me, somebody.
All right.
Good night, Mr. Fairlight.
Good night, Mrs. Lancaster.
Good night, Florence.
Oh, well, I suppose we'd all better go up, Miss Mannering.
I don't feel I could sleep yet, Mr. Fairlight.
Hello. Where's Florence?
Gone up to bed. Will you take her milk to her?
What's become of Nicky?
In the smoking room, I think.
Good night, Miss Mannering.
Good night, Miss Fairlight.
I shall come too. Good night.
Good night, Pawnee.
When you're writing, Fairlight, do your characters grow as you go along?
No, I think each one out minutely beforehand.
How too intriguing.
So, you've broken it off already, Bunty.
Yes, Tom.
I didn't know you were going to do it so soon.
It's better to get things over.
What did he say?
Much.
Was he furious?
Oh, what does it matter? Don't let's go on about it.
It's all damned awkward.
What?
The whole thing.
You're rather scared, aren't you?
Oh, no. No, not exactly. Now that I've got you to back me up.
I shall be glad when we're out of this house.
So shall I.
I hate the atmosphere.
I don't know how I've stood it for so long.
You didn't notice it until I came, any more than I noticed Nicky's atmosphere until you came.
It's queer, isn't it?
We're reverting to type, don't you see?
What do you mean?
Never mind, it's true.
Why, do you think I'm being a cad to Florence?
Yes, I do, really.
Well, Bunty, you said this
But
morning
I didn't
that-
see how you could help yourself. Neither I do. It's frightfully difficult. But it's not altogether your fault any more than it would have been mine if I had married Nicky. Oh, one gets carried away by glamour and personality and magnetism. They're beastly treacherous things.
Oh, you are wonderful.
To be silly.
Well, you're so cool and clear, and you see everything.
I'm sorry for Nicky.
Oh, damn, Nicky.
Oh, Tom.
Why? What's that?
You're so dead set.
But you're worth 10 of him any day. What's the use of a chap like that, Doesn't do anything except play the piano. He can't play any games. He's always trying to be funny.
Shut up, Tom. You're being rather cheap. I haven't reverted to type so quickly that I can't see some of the things I'm missing.
I wish I knew what you were talking about.
Oh, God, I feel so miserable.
I say, Bunty, for heaven's sake.
Don't. Give me my shoes.
I say, old girl, hadn't you better go to bed? You're all wrought out.
He said beastly things.
I wring his neck.
Oh, shut up, Tom, shut up.
Bunty, stop crying. Yes, please. Please, stop crying.
I can't find my hanky.
Here's mine.
Tom!
Yes, Florence?
What does this mean?
Sorry, Florence, I...
You utter cad.
Look here, I should like to
Be
say...
quiet, mind your own business.
What's the matter? Anybody hurt?
No, not her.
I banged my hand, that's all.
Liar.
Mother, don't be so stupid.
Florence, I really...
Don't speak to me, Tom.
Mother, not now, not now. It's all wrong. Control yourself. Bunty, go to bed. Please. Please.
All right. Tom.
Coming, Bunty.
Stop. I want an explanation, please.
How dare you speak to me like that?
Get out of my house. Get out of my house.
This is disgusting.
I say, Florence...
Get out of my house.
I shall leave first thing in the morning. It's much too late tonight.
Tom,
Yes, Florence?
you kissed her. You kissed her. I saw you.
Yes.
In this house.
Yes, Florence. I apologize.
Apologize. You're beneath contempt. Never speak to me again. Never touch me again. I hate you.
Look here, Florence. I'm desperately sorry. You see, I'm afraid I love her.
You dare stand there and say that to me. It's incredible. After all I've done for you, after all we've been to one another. Love. You don't know what it means. You've lied to me all these months. It's contemptible, humiliating. Get out of my sight.
Very well. Goodbye.
Tom! Oh, Tom! Come back! Come back!
Florence, what is the use of going on like that?
I wish I were dead.
It's so cowardly to give way utterly as you're doing.
I don't care, Helen. I don't
If
care.
you don't face things in this world, they only hit you much harder in the end.
He loved me. He adored me.
Never. He hadn't got it in him.
After all I've done for him to go to Bunty.
If it hadn't been Bunty, it would have been someone else. Don't you see how inevitable it was?
How dare they? Here, in this house.
Well, that's a little thing. That doesn't matter at all.
It does.
Florence, sit up and pull yourself together.
I think I'm going mad.
Not a bit of it. You're just thoroughly hysterical.
Oh. Give me some water.
Yes, all right.
What time is it?
1:10.
Don't go to London by the early train, Helen. Stay and come up with me in the car.
Very well.
Oh, thank God you were here.
I wish I'd known what was happening. I might have done something. Here you are.
Thank you. What can I do to get him back?
Don't be silly.
What can I do? What can I do?
Do you mean to say you'd take him back after tonight?
No, never. Not if he crawled to me. Never.
Well, then, make up your mind definitely never to see him again, whatever happens.
Yes, I will.
Why don't you go to bed now?
I couldn't sleep.
Put it all out of your mind. Make an effort.
I can't. I'm too unhappy.
Think of Nicky.
Nicky's young.
That doesn't make it any better for him.
He'll get over it in the long run.
The long run never counts at the moment.
But he wasn't in love. Really?
As much as you are here capable of it.
Well, he's well rid of her. She'd never have appreciated him properly. She hasn't the intelligence.
Oh, I don't agree with you there. She's intelligent right enough.
Treacherous little beast.
Yes, far-seeing.
Are you standing up for her? Do you think it was right of her to take Tom away from me?
Yes, quite right.
Helen!
To do her justice, she didn't deliberately set herself out to get him away from you at all. She discovered that in spite of the somewhat decadent years, Tom was still her type, and likely to remain so. So with common sense, she decided to shove Nicky forthwith and go with him.
Her type, indeed.
Yes. She'd have been quite a nice girl, really. She'd been left alone, not allowed to go to Paris and get into the wrong set.
You are extraordinary, Helen. Do you realize that you're making excuses for the girl who's betrayed your best friend?
Don't be utterly absurd. I'm not making excuses, and anyhow, she hasn't betrayed you. She hardly knows you in the first place. She's just followed her instincts, regardless of anyone else's feelings. As you've done thousands of times.
Helen, you're being horrible to me.
I'm not. I'm trying to make you see. You're battering your head against silly cast-iron delusions, and I want to dislodge...
Helen, I'm so unhappy, so desperately unhappy.
Yes, but not because you've lost Tom. It's something far deeper than that.
What, then?
You're on the wrong track, and have been for years.
I don't understand.
You won't understand.
Oh, my eyes are sore. It's so lovely, this, and so refreshing.
I think I'll go to bed now.
No, wait a little longer with me, please, Helen. Just a few minutes.
It's so hot in here.
Well, open the window, then.
Yes, all right.
Do you ever do this?
Do what?
Put scent on a cigarette. It's divine.
Wonderfully clear night. You can see the hills right across the valley. The moon's quite strong.
I chose this room in the first place because the view was so lovely.
Do you ever look at it?
Of course I do, often.
It's been raining. I do wish you'd throw that cigarette away. It spoils the freshness.
And it's soothing me, calming my nerves.
I do wish I could help you, really.
You are helping me, darling. You're being an angel.
Don't talk so emptily, Florence. I'm worth more than that.
I don't know what you mean.
It sickens me to see you getting back so soon.
Getting back?
Yes, your usual worthless attitude of mine.
Helen.
A little while ago, you were really suffering for once. In a way, I was glad because it showed you were capable of a genuine emotion. Now you're glossing it over, smarming it down with your returning vanity. Soon you won't be unhappy anymore, just vindictive.
No, don't go on at me like that. I'm too wretched.
Florence, dear, forgive me, but it's true. And I don't want it to be.
Nicky.
Helen, I want to talk to Mother, please.
What is it?
All right, Nicky.
I couldn't sleep.
Florence, dear, good night.
No, Helen, don't go yet.
I must.
Helen, stay with me.
Please go.
I can't stay, Florence. It's impossible.
I don't know what you mean by coming here and ordering Helen out of my room.
I'm sorry, Mother. I felt I had to talk to you alone.
At this hour of the night, you're mad.
No, I'm not. I think I'm probably more unhappy than I've ever been in my life.
No, you're young. You'll get over it.
I hope so.
I knew the first moment I saw her what sort of girl she was.
Oh, Mother.
It's true. I had an instinct about her.
It's all been rather a shock, you know.
Yes, dear, I know. But you mustn't be miserable about her. She isn't worth it.
Don't, Mother.
Listen, Nicky, go back to bed now, there's a dear. My head's splitting.
I can't yet.
Well, take some aspirin. That'll calm your nerves.
I'm afraid I'm a little beyond aspirin.
Now, I don't want you to think I don't sympathize with you, darling. My heart aches for you. I know so well what you're going through.
Do you?
It's agony, absolute agony. But you see, it will wear off. It always does in time. Nicky, please go now.
I want to talk to you.
Tomorrow. We'll talk tomorrow.
No, now.
You're inconsiderate and cruel. I've told you. My head's bursting.
I want to sympathize with you, too, and try to understand everything as well as I can.
Understand everything?
Yes, please.
I don't know what you mean.
Will you tell me things as though I was somebody quite different?
What kind of things?
Things about you, your life.
Oh, really, Nicky, you're ridiculous asking me to tell you stories at this hour.
Mother, sit down quietly. I'm not going out of this room until I've got everything straight in my mind.
Nicky,
Tom Berrien has been your lover, hasn't he?
Nicky, how dare you?
Now, keep calm. It's our only chance. Keep calm.
How dare you speak to me like that? Suggest such a thing.
It's true, isn't it?
Go away, go away.
True, isn't
no,
it?
No.
It's true, isn't it?
No, I tell you, no.
You're lying to me, Mother. What's the use of that?
You're mad.
Does Father know?
Go away.
Does Father know?
Your father knows nothing. He doesn't understand me any more than you do.
Then it's between us alone.
I tell you, I don't know what you're talking about.
Mother, don't go on like that. It's useless. We've arrived at a crisis. Wherever we go, whatever we do, we can't escape from it. I know we're neither of us very strong-minded or capable, and we haven't very much hope of coming through successfully, but let's try. It's no good pretending anymore. Our lives are built up of pretenses all the time. For years, ever since I began to think at all, I've been bolstering up my illusions about you. People have made remarks, not realizing that I was your son, and I pretended they were inspired by cattiness and jealousy. I've noticed things, trivial, incriminating little incidents, and I've brushed them aside and not thought any more about them because you were my mother, clever and beautiful and successful. And naturally people would slander you because you were so beautiful. And now I know that they were right.
I implore you, go away now and leave me alone.
No, I can't.
No, you're cruel to torment me.
I don't want to be cruel.
Well, go to bed then and we'll talk everything over quietly another time.
It is true about Tom Berrien, isn't it?
No.
Look, we're on awfully dangerous ground. I'm straining every nerve to keep myself under control. Now, if you lie to me and try to evade me any more, I won't be answerable for what might happen.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I'm frightened.
Nicky, darling,
Don't touch me, please.
have a little pity for me.
Was Tom Berrien your lover?
Yes.
I want to understand why.
He loved me.
But you, did you love him?
Yes.
It was something you couldn't help, wasn't it? Something that's always been the same in you since you were quite young?
Yes, Nicky, yes.
And there have been others, too, haven't there?
I won't be cross-questioned anymore. I won't.
I wish you'd try to understand. I'm not blaming you. I'm trying to help you, to help us both.
What good can all this possibly do?
Clear things up, of course. I can't go on any more half-knowing.
Why should that side of my life be any concern of yours?
But, Mother!
I'm different from other women, completely different, and you expect me to be the same. Why can't you realize that with a temperament like mine, it's impossible to lead an ordinary humdrum life? You're not a boy any longer. You're a man.
I'm nothing. I've grown up all wrong.
Well, it's not my fault.
Of course it's your fault, Mother. Who else's fault could it be?
Your friends, the people you mix with.
It wouldn't matter who I mixed with if only I had a background.
You've got as much money as you want. You've got your home.
Home? That's almost funny. There's no peace anywhere, nothing but the ceaseless din of trying to be amused.
David never complains.
I don't suppose you looked at Father during the last few years, or you wouldn't say that.
He's perfectly happy because he's sensible. He lives his own life and he doesn't interfere with mine.
It must be your vanity that makes you so dreadfully blind and foolish.
Understand this once and for all. I won't be spoken to like this.
You've had other lovers besides Tom Berrien, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I have. Now then.
Well, anyhow, that's the truth at last.
Nicky, don't be angry. Please, Nicky, don't be angry with me.
I'm not angry a bit. I realize that I'm living in a world where things like this happen. They've got to be faced and given the right value. If only I'd had the courage to realize everything before, it wouldn't be so bad now. It's the sudden shock that's thrown the whole thing out of focus for me. But I mean to get it right. Please help me.
I don't know what to do.
It's your life, and you've lived it as you've wanted to live it. Now, that's fair.
Yes.
You wanted love, always. Passionate love, because you were made like that. It's not your fault. It's the fault of circumstances and civilization. Civilization makes rottenness so much easier. We're utterly rotten, both of us.
Don't.
Well, how can we help ourselves? We swirl about in a vortex of beastliness. This is a chance, don't you see? To realize the truth, our only chance.
Oh, Nicky, do stop. Go away.
But don't keep on telling me to stop when our only hope is to hammer it out.
Oh, overwrought. It isn't as bad as you think.
Isn't it?
No, of course it isn't. Tomorrow morning you'll see things quite differently.
You haven't understood.
Yes, I have.
You haven't understood. Oh, my God. You haven't understood. You're building up silly defenses in your mind. I'm overwrought. Tomorrow morning I shall see things quite differently. Oh, that's true, Mother. That's the tragedy of it. You won't see. Tomorrow morning I shall see things differently. And all this will seem unreal, a nightmare. The machinery of our lives will go on again and gloss over the truth as it always does, and our chance will be gone forever.
Chance? What chance? What are you talking about?
I must make you see somehow.
No, you're driving me mad.
Look, have patience with me, please.
How can I have patience with you? You exaggerate everything.
No, I don't. I wish I did.
Listen, let me explain something to you.
Very well, go on.
You're setting yourself up in judgment on me, your own mother.
No, I'm not.
You are. Let me speak. You don't understand my temperament in the least. Nobody does.
You're deceiving yourself. Your temperament's no different from thousands of other women, but you've been weak and selfish and given way all on the line.
Let me speak, Argent.
What's the use? You're still pretending, Mother. You're building up barriers between us instead of helping me to break them down.
What are you accusing me of having done?
Can't you see yet?
No, I can't. If you're preaching morality, you've no right to. That's my affair. I've never done any harm to anyone.
Look at me.
Why? What do you mean?
You've given me nothing. All my life, nothing that really counts.
Now you're pitying yourself.
Yes, with every reason.
You're neurotic and ridiculous. Just because Bunty broke off your engagement, you come and say wicked, cruel things to me.
You forget what I've seen tonight, Mother.
I don't care what you've seen.
I've seen you make a vulgar, disgusting scene in your own house, and on top of that, humiliate yourself before a boy half your age. The misery of losing Bunty faded away when that happened. Everything is comparative after all.
I didn't humiliate myself.
You ran after him up the stairs because your vanity wouldn't let you lose him. It isn't that you love him. That would be easier. You never love anyone. You only love them loving you. All your so-called passion and temperament is false. Your whole existence has degenerated into an endless, empty craving for admiration and flattery. And then you say you've done no harm to anybody. Father used to be a clever man with a strong will and a capacity for enjoying everything. I can remember him like that. And now he's nothing. A complete non-entity because his spirit's crushed. Well, how could it be otherwise? You've let him down consistently for years. And God knows I'm nothing for him to look forward to. But I might have been if it hadn't been for you.
Don't talk like that. Don't. It can't be such a crime being loved. It can't be such a crime being happy.
You're not happy. You're never happy. You're fighting all the time to keep your youth and your looks. Because you can't bear the thought of living without them as though they mattered in the end.
What does anything matter, ever?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
I'm still young inside. I'm still beautiful. Why shouldn't I live my life as I choose?
You're not young or beautiful. I'm seeing for the very first time how old you are. It's horrible. Your silly fair hair and your face all plastered and painted.
Nicky, stop.
Mother.
No, go away. Go away. I hate you. Go away.
Mother, sit up.
Get out of my room. I don't ever want to see you again. You're insane. You've said wicked things to me. You've talked to me as if I were a woman off the streets. I can't bear it anymore.
I have a slight confession to make.
Confession?
Yes.
Go away.
Look.
What do you mean? What is it?
Don't you know?
Nicky, it isn't. You haven't.
Why do you look so shocked?
Oh, my God.
What does it matter? That doesn't make it any better.
Nicky, promise me. Oh, promise me you'll never do it again. Never in your life. It's frightful. Horrible.
It's only just the beginning.
What can I say to you?
Nothing, under the circumstances.
What do you mean?
It can't possibly matter now.
Matter? But it's the finish of everything. You're young. You're just starting on your life. You must stop. You must swear never to touch it again. Swear to me on your oath. Nicky, I'll help you.
You?
Oh.
How could you possibly help me?
Nicky.
Shut up. Don't touch me.
Nicky.
I'm trying to control myself, but you won't let me. You're an awfully rotten woman, really.
Oh, Nicky, stop.
Leave go of me. And as to all this, it's bottles and creams and scents.
Oh, Nicky.
Now then. You're not going to have any more lovers. You're not going to be beautiful and successful ever again. You're going to be my mother for once. It's about time I had one to help me before I go over the edge altogether.
Nicky.
Promise me you'll be different. You've got to promise me.
Yes, I promise.
I love you, really. That's why it's all so awful.
No, not awful. Don't say that. I love you, too.
Oh, Mother.
I wish I were dead.
It doesn't matter about death. But it matters terribly about life.
I know.
Promise me you'll be different. Promise me you'll be different.
Yes, I'll try.
We'll both try.
Yes, dear. Oh, my dear.
In The Vortex, by Noel Coward, the part of Florence Lancaster was played by Joan Greenwood, and Nicky by Richard Briers. Helen was played by Margaret Robertson, and Pawnee by Rolf Lefevre. Tom Varian, Anthony Jackson, and Bunty Mannering, Alexa Romanus. David Lancaster, Duncan McIntyre, Clara Hibbert, Marjorie Westbury, Preston, Betty Hardy, and Bruce Fairlight, Alan Dudley. The pianist was Wilfrid Parry. The production was by H.B. Fortile.
Now, we have nearly 9 minutes before home this afternoon at 4:45. So here is a piano piece by Fauré, the Nocturne No. 7 in C-sharp minor, and it's played on this record by Kathleen Long. Nocturne No. 7 in C-sharp minor by Fauré, played by Kathleen Long. At this time of the year, there's increasing interference from continental stations on our medium wavelengths. To defeat this interference, the BBC has built an extensive network of VHF stations. VHF stands for very high frequency, and it's a system which is virtually free from interference. So the remedy is a VHF set. Take professional advice about installing it, because you may need a good outside aerial. If you don't wish to have a large receiver, there are many VHF portables which will serve the purpose just as well. And remember that if local radio is started or is coming to your area, you'll only be able to hear your own local station on VHF. Given the right set and the right aerial, your listening this winter to radios 2, 3 and 4 can give you far more enjoyment. At 8:30 tonight, in the Home Service, we're broadcasting a dramatization of Robert Graves's famous novel, I, Claudius, in which Marius Goring plays the seemingly foolish, crippled, stammering clown who is nevertheless clever enough to survive the violent reign of 3 Caesars, to become emperor himself and remain emperor for 14 years. And that's I, Claudius, in Radio 4, the Home Service, at 8:30 tonight.
Campbell Troupe presents the Campbell Playhouse. Orson Welles, producer.
Good evening, this is Orson Welles. Our story for tonight is Noel Coward's Private Life. When first produced several seasons ago, it startled London and delighted New York, prodding the critics to rustle among their dictionaries and bring out such adjectives as scintillating, gossamer, gleaming, and hilarious. It must delight Noel Coward to look backward a few seasons and find his play has become acclaimed as one of the most famous and lasting of modern comedies. It's been played all over the world and extensively, although so far not successfully, imitated. Well, Mr. Coward is an astute theatrical observer, and underneath its surface brilliance, he has managed to catch the essential pattern of the modern love story. In writing about Private Lives, Mr. Coward has said, "It was more difficult and full of pitfalls than anything I've ever attempted. But fortunately for me, I had the inestimable advantage of playing it with Gertrude Lawrence. And so 3/4 of the battle was won before the curtain went up. Tonight we're sharing Mr. Coward's advantage. It is with great pleasure that we welcome as our guest star to the Campbell Playhouse, Miss Gertrude Lawrence, in one of her acting triumphs, Noel Coward's Private Life. The story of Elliot and Amanda, two young people who loved each other so intensely and so uproariously that they found it hard to live together and impossible to live apart. First, on behalf of our sponsors, a message.
At this very moment, if you could peek into thousands of ice boxes all over America, you would see cans bearing the familiar red and white label of Campbell's. But these cans would be Campbell's tomato juice. Yes, Campbell's tomato juice, made by the makers of Campbell's tomato soup, and made with the same care and pride. In spite of the fact that Campbell's has become the largest selling tomato juice of all within a few short years, there must be many of you who have not yet tried it. If you are one of these, may I suggest that you get acquainted at the first opportunity. What a perk-up drink it is, especially at breakfast. It has a tang and liveliness all its own to open your day with a smile. Your first sip of Campbell's tomato juice confirms the bright promise of its glorious red color, the red of vine-ripened tomatoes picked at their very peak of flavor. Have you tried Campbell's tomato juice? If you haven't, won't you order a few cans tomorrow? Fill them thoroughly and give the family a treat with their Sunday breakfast. Once you know its keen, lively taste, I feel sure you'll want it regularly. And now Gertrude Lawrence and Orson Welles in Private Lives.
My name is Dupont, Jean-Paul Casimir Dupont. I am a hotel manager. 26 years in the hotel business. Cannes, Menton, Saint-Maurice, and now the Hotel Normandie Deauville. Ladies and gentlemen, in this time I have made a most sensational discovery. It is very confidential. I wouldn't not have one person except you hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Lawrence, Mr. Wells, the English people are crazy. How do I know this? I'll give you just one little example. Last year, it is June. Wait a minute, please. I have it here in my little book. June 14th at 2:25. I am sitting in my office. Allô? Qui est à l'appareil? C'est Paris? Allô?
Hello? Is this the Hotel Normandie Deauville?
Oui.
This is Elliot Chase speaking.
Oui, Monsieur K.
I want a suite of rooms for tonight, something overlooking the sea.
One moment, please. I see what I can do. Mais oui, just this morning we freed the best room in the hotel, number 21. Habitually lives there the ex-Maharaja of Rook.
All right, we'll be there around 8. Name's Chase, Mr. and Mrs. Elliot Chase.
Yes, oui, monsieur.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, monsieur. Thank you, monsieur. Allô? Qui est à la porte? C'est Paris, quoi encore?
Hello.
Hotel Normandie, Deauville.
I say, this is Victor Prince.
Pardon, monsieur.
This is Victor Prince speaking. Victor Prince. I want a suite for tonight. What have you got?
1 minute, monsieur. I look. Oh, la, you are a lucky man, monsieur. Just this morning we freed the best room in the hotel, number 22. habitually lived there, the ex-Maharaja of Rook.
Rook? Oh, all right. Well, we'll be in around about 8. The name's Prince. Mr. and Mrs. Victor Prince.
Prince? Prince. Oui, monsieur. Merci, monsieur.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, monsieur. That evening, at 8:10, arrives the first couple of English, Mr. and Mrs. Chase. Mrs. Chase is very gentille, small, blonde, with blue eyes. Mr. Elliot Chase is tall, is thin, is dark.
Visit here.
Oui, monsieur. Mr. Chase, number 21. This is our best suite. This is the suite of the ex-Maharaja Rook. Voila. We put your bags here in the corner, no?
Thank you. That'll be very nice.
And here, madame, is your balcony overlooking the sea.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
Yes, Dorothy is very fine, very fine. Now, if you send us 2 champagne cocktails, everything will be perfect.
Parfaitement, monsieur. 2 champagne cocktails, 2 sweet.
Elliot, dear, do come out. Out here on the balcony. It's so lovely.
Just a minute. It's not so bad, this place.
Oh, it's heavenly in the moonlight. And so private. With its own little rail and that band playing downstairs at the casino. Oh, Elliot, I'm so happy.
Are you, Sybil?
Aren't you?
Of course I am. Tremendously happy.
Just to think, here we are. You and I, married on our honeymoon.
Yes, things have come to a pretty pass.
Well, don't laugh at me, Elliot. You mustn't be blasé about honeymoons just because this is your second.
Oh, that's silly.
Have I annoyed you by saying that?
Just a little.
Oh, darling, I'm so sorry. Kiss me.
There.
Not very enthusiastic.
That better?
3 times, please. I'm superstitious.
You really are very sweet, Sybil.
You glad you married me?
Of course I am.
How glad?
Incredibly, magnificently glad.
How lovely.
Said we ought to go and dress for dinner.
Gladder than the last time.
Why do you keep harping on that?
She was pretty, wasn't she, Amanda?
Very pretty.
Prettier than I am.
Much.
Oh.
She was pretty and sleek, and her hands were long and slim, and her legs were long and slim, and she danced like an angel. You dance very poorly, by the way.
Could you play the piano as well as I can?
She couldn't play the piano at all.
I love you far more than Amanda loves you. I never make you miserable like she did.
We made each other miserable.
It was all her fault, Elliot. You know it was.
Yes, it was entirely her fault.
She was a fool to lose you.
We lost each other.
She lost you with her violent tempers and carrying on.
Oh, will you stop talking about Amanda?
You do hate her, don't you?
She had some very good qualities.
Do you think you could ever love her again?
Of course not, Sybil. I love you.
Oh, kiss me, darling.
Sybil, once and for all, will you stop talking about Amanda?
Yes, Elliot, dear.
I don't wish to see her again or hear her name mentioned ever again.
Very well, darling.
Is that understood?
Yes, darling. Where did you spend your honeymoon with Amanda?
Norris, be quiet.
I hate St. Mary's.
So do I, bitterly.
Was she good on skis?
Do you want to dine downstairs here or at the casino?
I love you, I love you, I love you.
Good, let's go in.
Kiss me first.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Elliot, darling.
Come on, Sybil. Getting late.
So, this couple, Monsieur and Mrs. Chase, they have been in a sweet 10 minutes. Alors, bon. At 8:21, arrives the other English, the second couple, Mr. and Mrs. Victor Prince. Mr. Victor Prince is big and strong, Anglo-Saxon, what you call athlete, the football, huh? Mrs. Victor Prince, my friend, Mrs. Victor Prince. Mrs. Victor Prince, she is...
Is this here?
Oui, madame. Number 22. This is our guest suite. This is the suite of the ex-Maharaja Rook. Voila. We put your beds in the corner, no?
Oh, thanks. That'll be fine.
Here, monsieur, is your balcony overlooking the sea.
Oh, I say, that's wonderful.
Yes, it all seems very nice. Oh, do you do?
Oui, madame.
Will you send us up 2 dry martinis, 2 sweet, very dry?
Parfaitement, madame. 2 martinis, very dry. 2 sweet, madame.
Amanda!
What?
Come outside. The view's wonderful. And
Wait.
so private with a little rail between us and the next balcony. Come on out.
Wait a minute. Where did I get a wrap off? I shall catch pneumonia. That's what I shall catch.
Joe.
I beg your pardon?
You look wonderful, Amanda.
Thank you, darling.
You know, like a beautiful advertisement for something.
Nothing peculiar, I hope.
Well, I can hardly believe it's true. You and I here alone together, married. You love me?
Of course, Victor. That's why I'm here.
More than...
None of that.
No, but you love me more than you loved Elliot.
I don't remember. It's such a long time ago.
Well, I'd like to break his blasted neck.
Oh, why?
For making you unhappy.
It was mutual.
Rubbish. It was all his fault. You know it was.
Yes, it was. Now I come to think about it.
Wine.
Something so vehement, darling.
I'll never treat you like that.
That's right.
I love you too much, Amanda.
So did he.
A fine fellow love that is. He struck you once, didn't he?
More than once.
Where?
Several places.
What a cad.
I struck him, too. Once I broke 4 gramophone records over his head. It was very satisfying.
You must have been driven to distraction.
Yes, I was, but don't let's talk about it, please. Look at the lights of that yacht reflected in the water. I wonder whose it is.
Oh, you're so beautiful, Amanda. I couldn't love you more than I do now.
Oh, dear. I did so hope our honeymoon was going to be progressive.
Where did you spend the last one?
Victor?
I want to know.
St. Moritz. It was very attractive.
I hate St. Moritz.
So do I.
Did Elliot start quarreling with you right away?
Within the first few days. I put it down to the high altitude.
And you loved him?
Yes, Victor.
Oh, you poor child. You know, Amanda, I think you love me quite differently from the way you loved Elliot.
I do wish you'd stop harping on Elliot.
True enough, though, isn't it?
I love you much more calmly, if that's what you mean.
More lastingly?
I expect so.
Well, where did you first meet Elliot?
Oh, last Elliot.
Mandy.
I forbid you to mention his name again. I'm sick of the sound of it. You must be raving mad. Here we are on our honeymoon with the moon coming up and the music playing, and all you can do is to talk about my first husband. It's downright sacrilegious.
Oh, don't be angry.
Well, it's very annoying.
Will you forgive me?
Yes, Victor, but don't do it again.
I promise.
You better go and shave, my dear. You look perfectly awful.
Oh, well, where shall we dine? Downstairs here or at the casino?
The casino is more fun, I think.
Kiss me.
There, dear. Now hurry. I'm dreadfully hungry.
Well, give me 5 minutes.
And when the cocktails come, have them sent out here on the balcony.
All right.
Go along, now hurry. I'll wait for you here.
Now then, ladies and gentlemen, it is 8:41. I am standing in the garden. It is moonlight, and the music is playing. Above me is the balcony. The Suite 21, the Suite 22. Suite 21 is this Englishman, Mr. Elliot Chase. Suite 22 is this other Englishman, Mr. Victor Prince. Each has his wife. Now listen carefully, please. While I watch, commences on the balconies a movement. Him on balcony 21, little by little, he is moving toward her on balcony 22. She on balcony 22, she is moving little by little toward him on balcony 21. Between them now is only the little railing. And now in the moonlight, my friend, above my head, I hear
sometime. Au revoir, Elliot.
Goodbye, Amanda.
Elliot? Are you still out there on the balcony?
Hello, Sybil.
How are the cocktails, dear? Elliot, what's the matter? Wasn't I quick?
Sybil, I feel very odd suddenly.
Odd? What do you mean, ill?
Yes, ill.
What sort of ill?
You must leave at once.
Leave?
Yes, Sybil. Leave this place immediately.
He's only just come.
I know that, but it can't be helped.
What's happened? What has happened?
Nothing has happened.
Elliot, you've gone out of your mind.
I haven't gone out of my mind, but I tell you, if we stay here another hour, I will.
But, darling, everything's on purpose.
Now, please, Sybil, I know it sounds crazy to you, but I've got a second sight over certain things. I'm almost psychic. If we stay here, something appalling will happen. I know it.
You mean there's going to be an earthquake or something?
Very possibly indeed.
But they don't have earthquakes in France.
Don't quibble, Sybil. I'm asking you, imploring you to come away from this place. Now, tonight.
But I love it here.
There are thousands of other places far nicer.
Well, it's a pity we didn't go to one of them.
Sybil, if there's one thing in the world that infuriates me, it's sheer wanton stubbornness. I should like to cut off your head with a meat axe.
How dare you test me like that on our honeymoon? Mother was perfectly right. She said you had shifty eyes. When you don't love me one little bit. I wish I were dead.
Will you or will you not come to Paris?
No, I won't.
Well, I will. I'm going now, this minute.
Elliot, wait for me. Elliot!
Goodbye. Amanda, you're behaving like a lunatic.
Not at all, Victor. All I've done is to ask you a little favor.
Little favor, indeed.
If we left now, we should be in Paris in a few hours.
If we cross Siberia by train, we could be in China in a fortnight.
But I don't see any reason to do it.
Oh, Victor, darling, please be sensible, just for my sake.
Why on earth didn't you think of this tragedy before?
I forgot.
You couldn't forget a thing like that.
Well, I got the places muddled. Then when I saw the casino there in the moonlight, it all came back to me.
When did all this happen?
Years ago. But it might just as well have been yesterday. I can see her now lying dead, all white and cold, with that dreadful expression on her face.
Whose face?
My sister's face.
Amanda. I never knew you had a sister.
I haven't anymore.
There's something behind all
Well,
this.
don't be silly, Victor. What could there be behind it?
Well, for one thing, Amanda, I know you're lying.
Victor!
Be honest, aren't you?
I can't think how you can be so mean and suspicious.
You're lying, Amanda, aren't you?
Yes, Victor.
Why do you want to leave so badly?
You'll be angry if I tell you the truth.
What is it?
I warn you.
Tell me. Please tell me.
All right. Elliot, here.
What?
I saw him.
When?
Just now while you were shaving.
Where was he?
Down there in the garden in a white suit.
White suit?
Well, why not? It's summer, isn't it?
See you?
No, he was running.
What was he running for?
How on earth do I know? Don't be so annoying.
Well, as long as he didn't see you, it's all right, isn't it?
It isn't all right at all. We must leave immediately.
I absolutely refuse to change all our plans at the last moment just because you think you've seen your former husband. If he annoys you in any way, I'll knock him down.
That would be fun.
Now, don't let's talk about it anymore.
I see. I see quite clearly now that I've been foolish enough to marry a fat old gentleman in a club armchair. You're a pompous ass.
Amanda, control yourself.
Get away from me. I can't bear to think I'm married to such rugged grandson.
Amanda!
Go away.
Very well, Amanda. If that's how you feel, I shall be in the bar. When you're ready to come down and dine, let me know.
Go away. Go away.
Going.
Hello, Elliot.
Hello, Amanda.
I'm in such a rage.
So am I.
What are we going to do?
I don't know.
Whose yacht is that down there in the harbor?
Duke of Westminster's, I expect. It always is.
I wish I were on it.
I wish you were, too.
There's no need to be nasty.
Yes, there is every need. I've never in my life felt a greater urge to be nasty.
You've had some urges in your time, haven't you, dear?
If you start bickering with me, Amanda, I swear I'll throw you over the edge of this balcony.
Try it. That's all. Just try it.
You've upset everything as usual.
I've upset everything. What about you?
Ever since the first moment I was unlucky enough to set eyes on you, my life has been insupportable.
Oh, do shut up. There's no use in going on like that.
Nothing's any use. There's no escape. Ever.
Don't be melodramatic.
You want a cocktail? There's two here.
There's two over here as well.
We'll have my two first. Come on over. Over the rail. Here. Let me help you. Right.
Thanks.
Well, here's to you, Amanda.
I tried to get him away the moment after I'd seen you, but he wouldn't budge.
What's his name?
Victor. Victor Prince.
Mr. and Mrs. Victor Prince. Mine wouldn't budge either.
What's her name?
Sybil.
Mr. and Mrs. Elliot Chase. Poor girl.
Are you in love with him, Amanda?
Of course.
How funny.
I don't see anything particularly funny about it. You're in love with yours, aren't you?
Certainly.
There you are, then.
Well, there we both are, then.
What's she like?
Fair, very pretty, plays the piano beautifully.
Very comforting.
How's yours?
I don't wish to discuss it.
Well, it doesn't matter. Probably come popping out in a minute, and I shall see for myself. Does he know I'm here?
Yes, I told him.
That's going to make things a whole lot easier.
No, you need to be frightened, Elliot. He won't hurt you.
If he comes near me, I'll scream the place down.
Does Sybil know I'm here?
No, I pretended I had a presentiment. I tried terribly hard to persuade her to leave for Paris.
I tried to. What's happened to yours?
Didn't you hear her screaming? She's downstairs in the dining room, I think.
Mine's being grand in the bar.
Really is awfully difficult.
Awfully difficult.
I say that orchestra's a remarkably small repertoire.
Yes, they don't seem to know anything but this, do they?
You always had a sweet voice, Amanda.
Thank you.
Amanda, I'm awfully sorry about all this, really I am. I wouldn't have had it happen for the world.
I know. I'm sorry, too. It's just rotten luck.
I'll go away tomorrow, whatever happens, so don't you worry.
That's nice of you.
I hope everything turns out splendid for you. I hope you'll be very happy, Amanda.
I hope the same for you, too.
Nasty, insistent little June.
Extraordinary how potent cheap music is.
What exactly were you remembering at that moment?
St. Moritz. The Paris Hotel skating rink in the morning. Bright, strong sunlight. Everybody whirling round in vivid colors. And you kneeling down to put my skates on for me.
You'd fallen on your face a few minutes before.
It was beastly of you to laugh at me like that. I felt so humiliated.
Poor darling.
Do you remember waking up in the morning, standing out on the balcony looking across the valley?
Blue shadows on white snow. Clean relief. High above everything in the world. How beautiful it was.
It's nice to think we had a few marvelous moments.
A few. We had heaps, really. Only they slip away into the background, and one only remembers the bad ones.
Yes. What fools we were to ruin it all. What utter fools.
You feel like that, too, do you?
Of course.
Why did we?
The whole business was too much for us.
We were so ridiculously over in love.
Funny, wasn't it?
Horribly funny.
Selfishness, cruelty, hatred, possessiveness, and petty jealousy. All those qualities came out in us just because we loved each other.
Perhaps they were there anyhow.
No. It's love that does it. Love's no good.
Down with love.
And yet, here we are starting afresh with two quite different people. In love all over again, aren't we? Aren't we?
No.
Elliot.
We're not in love all over again. And you know it. Good night, Amanda.
Elliot, don't be silly. Come back.
I must go and find Sybil.
I must go and find Victor.
Well, why don't you?
I don't want to.
Shameful. Shameful of us.
Oh, don't. I feel terrible. Don't leave me for a minute. I'll go mad if you do. Now, listen. We won't talk about ourselves anymore. We'll just talk about outside things. Anything you like, only just don't leave me until I pull myself together.
Very well.
What have you been doing lately during these last years?
Traveling about. Went round the world, you know. After...
Yes, I know. How was it?
The world?
Yes.
Highly enjoyable.
China must be very interesting.
Very big, China.
And Japan?
Very small.
Did you eat shark fins and take your shoes off and use chopsticks and everything?
Practically everything.
And India? The burning gars or gas or whatever they are. The Taj Mahal. How was the Taj Mahal?
Unbelievable. A sort of dream.
That was the moonlight.
Yes, moonlight is cruelly deceptive. Darling, I love you so.
I do hope you met a sacred elephant there. Lynx white, I believe, and very, very sweet.
Never loved anyone else for an instant.
Oh, no.
Darling.
Elliot, stop.
You love me too, don't you? There's no doubt about it anywhere, is there?
No. No doubt anywhere.
You're looking very lovely, Amanda, in this moonlight. Your skin is clear and cool, and your eyes are shining, and you're growing lovelier and lovelier every second as I look on you. You don't hold any mystery for me, darling. Do you mind?
I'm glad, miss.
More than any desire anywhere, deep down in my deepest heart, I want you back again. Please.
Don't say any more. You're making me cry so deeply.
Amanda.
What now? Oh, darling, what now?
I don't know. I'm lost, utterly.
We must think quickly.
Yes, you've got to decide instantly, one way or another. Go away together now and stay with him. And never see one another again,
Don't
ever.
be silly. What choice is there?
No choice at all. Come on.
No, wait. This is sheer raving madness. Something's happened to us. We're not safe.
We never were.
Where can we go?
Paris first. My car's in the garage already.
They'll follow us.
That doesn't matter once the thing's done.
Oh, Elliot, we're being so bad. So terribly bad. We'll suffer for this. I know we
Can't be helped.
Starting all those awful rows all over
Oh,
again.
no. We're old and wiser now.
What difference does that make? The first moment either of us gets a bit nervy off, we'll go
Now,
again.
stop shilly-shallying,
I'm
Amanda.
trying to be sensible.
You're only succeeding in being completely idiotic.
Idiotic indeed. What about
Now,
you?
look here, Amanda.
Elliot.
Darling. I didn't mean it.
I won't move from here until we have a pact. A sacred pact never to quarrel again.
Easy to make, but difficult to keep.
No. It's the bickering that does it. The moment we notice we're bickering, either of us, we must promise on our honor to stop dead. We'll invent some phrase or catchword, which when either of us says it, automatically cuts off all conversation for at least 5 minutes.
2 minutes still, with an option of renewal.
Oh, very well. What shall it be?
Solomon Isaacs.
Solomon Isaacs. All right, that'll do.
Come on.
What do we do if we meet either of them on the way downstairs?
Run like stags.
Oh, darling, I daren't. It's too wicked of us. I simply dare.
Solomon Isaacs.
But Elliot, darling.
Solomon Isaacs. Come on, Amanda. Quick, someone's coming. This way, the rail. Hurry. Hurry up.
Oh, but darling. was looking for my husband.
Oh, yes, that's funny. I was looking for my wife.
Quite a coincidence.
Yes. My name's Prince. Victor Prince.
My name's Sybil Chase.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Very nice here, isn't it?
Lovely.
Been here long?
No, we only arrived this evening.
Another coincidence. So did we.
How awfully funny.
You care for cocktail?
Oh, no, thank you, really.
There's two here on the table, on my side.
Oh, thanks very much. I'd love one.
Good. Here you are.
Thank you. It's awfully pretty here, isn't it? The moonlight and the lights of that yacht reflected in the water.
Yes. I wonder who it belongs to. Oh. To Atchison friends.
To Atchison's friends.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, the life of the hotel manager, it is a torment and living inferno. And always, nearly always, this is so, ladies and gentlemen, the hotel manager dies young. It is the fault, almost entirely the fault, of the English people. I give you now an example. On June 14th of last year, I lose for my hotel suddenly in the night 4 customers. At 6 minutes after 9 departs Mr. Elliot Chase. At 31 minutes after 11 departs Mr. Victor Prince. But this is the strange thing. Mr. Victor Prince does not depart with Mrs. Victor Prince. Why does he not depart with his wife, Mrs. Victor Prince? Because Mrs. Victor Prince is not here anymore. And why is Mrs. Victor Prince not here anymore? Because Mrs. Victor Prince is on the way to Paris. And with whom is she on the way to Paris? With Mr. Elliot Chase. It is as I have said. You see what I tell you. These people are crazy.
You are listening to the Campbell Playhouse presentation of Private Lives, starring Gertrude Lawrence and Orson Welles. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System. This is Ernest Chappell, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming you back to the Campbell Playhouse. In a moment or two, we will resume our presentation of Noel Coward's Private Lives, but first a message. I imagine that Campbell's soups are used in your home just as they are in millions of homes across the country. But tonight I want to ask you about something else which Campbell's make, Campbell's tomato juice. Have you tried it? A great many people have, because Campbell's is the largest selling tomato juice in America. Shortly after Campbell started making it, just a few years ago, women saw it in their grocery stores. Being acquainted with the goodness of Campbell's soup, many of them decided to try Campbell's tomato juice. At first taste, they must have liked it and then told their friends and neighbors about it, for its popularity has spread from coast to coast. There are those who have orange juice every morning for breakfast. Still others have tomato juice every morning. Perhaps the largest group of all have orange juice one morning and tomato juice the next. On your tomato juice mornings, I'd like to urge you to drink Campbell's tomato juice. Now we resume our Campbell Playhouse presentation of Noel Coward's Private Lives, starring Gertrude Lawrence and Orson Welles.
Elliot? Elliot?
Yes, Amanda.
I'm so glad we didn't go out this evening.
Oh, so am I. Our first evening in Paris.
It's nice here, isn't it?
Strangely peaceful.
And the drive up was lovely.
How do you know? You slept most of the way.
I know I did, darling, but it was lovely anyway.
We've hardly used Solomon Isaacs all day.
Solomon Isaacs is so long. Let's shorten it to Solid.
Solid. All right.
Happy, darling?
Of course. Even happier, we've had dinner. How long do you think it'll be?
Oh, I don't know. The French are a very conscientious people. We may get it by 9 or 10.
That's good. You know, Amanda, it's an awful bad reflection on our characters. We ought to be absolutely tortured with conscience.
Yeah, every now and then.
Not nearly enough.
Well, we sent Victor and Sybil a nice wire from wherever it was. What more can they want?
You're even more ruthless than I am.
I don't believe in crying over my bridges before I've eaten them.
Very sensible.
Personally, I feel grateful for a miraculous escape. I know now that I should never have been happy with Victor. I was a fool ever to consider it.
You did a little more than consider it.
Well, you can't talk.
I wonder whether Victor and Sybil met each other, whether they've been suffering alone.
Oh, dear, don't let's go on about it. It really does make one feel rather awful.
I know, but I suppose one or the other, both of them will turn up eventually.
Bound to. Won't be very nice, will it?
Perfectly horrible.
Darling, you do look awfully sweet in your little smoking jacket.
Yes, it is pretty ravishing, isn't it?
Do you mind if I come round and kiss you?
A pleasure, Lady Agatha.
What fools we were to subject ourselves to 5 years unnecessary suffering.
But perhaps it wasn't unnecessary. Perhaps it mellowed and perfected us like beautiful ripe fruit.
Elliot, when we were together, did you really think I ever looked at anyone else?
Yes, practically all the time.
I thought you did, too. I used to torture myself with visions of you dancing about with awful widows.
Well, why widows?
Well, I was thinking of Claire Lavenham, really.
Oh, Claire.
What do you say, oh, Claire, like that for? Sounded far too careless to me.
What a lovely creature she was.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
Lovely, darling.
Trifle over-vivacious, I always thought. But that was probably because she was fundamentally...
Oh, now, darling.
Your taste always is...
Frolics?
Sorry, darling. What are you thinking about?
Nothing in particular.
Come on, I know that face.
Poor Sybil.
Sybil?
Yes,
I suppose she loves you terribly.
Well, not as much as all that. She didn't have a chance to get really underway.
I expect she's dreadfully unhappy.
Oh, do shut up, Amanda. We've had all that out before.
Well, what if we'd never happened to meet again? Would you have been quite happy with Sybil?
I expect so.
Oh, well,
You needn't look so stricken. It was the same with you and Victor. Life would have been smooth and amicable and quite charming, wouldn't it?
Poor dear Victor. He certainly did love me.
Splendid.
When I first met him, I was so lonely and depressed. I thought that I was growing old and crumbling away unwanted.
It certainly is horrid when one begins to crumble.
He used to look at me hopelessly like a lovely spaniel, and I sort of melted like snow in the sunlight.
That must have been an edifying spectacle.
Victor really had great charm.
You must tell me all about it.
He had a positive mania for looking after me and protecting me.
That would have died down in time, dear.
You mustn't be rude. There's no necessity to be rude.
I wasn't in the least rude. I merely made a perfectly rational statement.
Your voice was decidedly bitter.
Victor had glorious legs, hadn't he? And fascinating ears.
Elliot.
I'm sick of listening to you yapping about Victor.
Now listen, Elliot. Once you...
Oh, my dear, Solix. Solix, 30 seconds. Solix.
Give it.
Solix. We're in love, all right.
Oh, don't say it so bitterly. Let's try to get the best out of this time instead of the worst. It was my fault. And I'm terribly sorry, darling.
I was very irritating. I know I was. I'm sure Victor was awfully nice. You're perfectly right to sweet love.
That's downright handsome of you.
Yes, I think I love you more than ever before. Isn't it ridiculous? Come on, sit down on the sofa here beside me. Comfortable?
Almost. Wait a minute. You know, this is far too perfect to last.
You have no face. That's what's wrong with you.
Absolutely none.
I do love you so.
Don't breathe so hard, dear heart. It gives me the shivers.
Swivel your face round a bit more.
That better?
Very nice. Thank you kindly.
Oh, darling, you're so terribly, terribly dear and sweet and attractive.
We were raving mad ever to part, didn't we?
Utter imbecile.
I realized it almost immediately.
Long before we got our degrees.
And my heart broke on that trip around the world. I saw such beautiful things, darling. Moonlight shining on old temples. Strange barbaric dances in jungle villages. Scarlet flamingos flying over deep, deep blue water. Breathlessly lovely. And completely unexciting because you weren't there to see them with me.
Oh, take me there, please. Take me at once. Let's make up for lost time.
Next week.
Tomorrow.
Done.
I must see those dear flamingos.
Angel.
No, Elliot, that's enough. Please don't kiss me anymore.
Why not?
Not before dinner.
You really just... You say the most awful things.
I don't say anything particularly awful about that.
No sense of glamour. No sense of glamour at all.
Well, it's very difficult to feel really glamorous with a crick in the neck.
Why didn't you say you had a crick in your neck?
Well, it's gone now.
How convenient.
Cigarette, please.
Here.
Nat.
Wait a minute, can't you?
Chivalrous little love.
Here.
Thank you very much indeed. You don't have to throw them at me.
You really can be more irritating than anyone in this world.
I fail to see what I've done is so terribly irritating.
You have no tact.
tact, you have no consideration.
For dinner, indeed. That sort of remark shows a rather common sort of mind, I'm afraid.
Oh, it does it?
Very unpleasant. Makes me shudder.
Makes all this fuss just because your silly vanity is a little upset.
Vanity? What do you mean, vanity? Amanda, has it ever occurred to
you? You know perfectly well what I mean, and don't try to patronize.
Now, look here, Amanda.
Darling, Solix, for heaven's sake, Solix.
Now, listen.
Solix, oh dear, triple Solix.
Solix. Oh.
Big romantic stuff, this, darling?
Yes, big romantic stuff. You're the most thrilling, exciting woman that was ever born.
Dearest heart.
Oh, good heavens.
Do you think it's them?
I wonder. Does Victor know this number?
Of course he does. Nobody else knows I'm back in Paris.
Must be them, then.
What are we to do?
We're all right, darling, aren't we? Whatever happens.
Now and always, my sweet.
I don't care, then.
It was bound to come sooner or later.
Hello. What? Como? Madame qui? Hello. Who's that? Oh, Madame Duvalon. Oui. Sorry, somebody wanting to talk to the dear Madame Duvalon, dear.
Who's this?
I haven't the faintest idea. Je regrette beaucoup, monsieur. Madame Duvalon vient de partir cet après-midi pour Madagascar. Oh, I gave me a fright.
What did you say?
I said Madame Duvalon sailed today for Madagascar. Amanda, what should we do if they suddenly walk in on us?
Behave exquisitely.
With the most perfect poise.
Certainly. I should probably do a court courtesy.
You know, things that ought to matter dreadfully don't matter at all when one's happy, do they?
What's so terrible is that one can't stay happy.
Darling, don't say that.
It's true. The whole business is a very poor joke.
Meaning that sacred and beautiful thing, love?
Yes, meaning just that. Don't laugh at me, I'm serious.
You mustn't be serious, my dear, when it's just what they want.
Who's they?
They, all the dull and stupid people who try to make life unbearable. Laugh at them, laugh at everything.
If I laugh at everything, I must laugh at us, too.
Certainly you must. We're figures of fun, all right.
How long will it last? This ludicrous, overbearing love of ours. Elliot, do we always want to bicker and fight?
Who knows? It all depends on how well we've played.
What happens if one of us dies? Does the one that's left still laugh?
Oh, yes, with all his might.
I believe you're talking nonsense.
So is everyone else in the long run. Darling, do you remember that awful scene we had in Venice?
Which particular one?
When your curling irons burned a hole in my new dressing gown. That was a rouser, wasn't it?
That was the first time you ever hit me.
I didn't hit you very hard. We were very much younger then.
And very much sillier.
As a matter of fact, the real cause of that row was Peter Burden.
Oh, you knew there was nothing in that?
I didn't know anything of the sort. You took presents from him.
Presents? A trivial little brooch.
I remember it well, bristling with diamonds. In the worst possible taste.
Not at all. It was very pretty. I still have it and I wear it often.
You went out of your way to torture me over Peter Burden.
I didn't. You worked the whole thing up in your own stupid imagination.
You must admit that he was in love with you, wasn't he?
Just a little, perhaps. Nothing serious.
You let him kiss you. You said you did.
Well, what of it?
What of it?
Well, it gave him a lot of pleasure and didn't hurt me.
What about me?
Well, if you hadn't been so suspicious and knows you'd never have known a thing about it.
Now, that's a nice point of view, I must say.
Oh, dear, I'm bored with the whole conversation.
So am I. Bored stiff. Want a cocktail?
No, thanks.
I'll have a small one, I think.
I don't see why you want it. You've already had two.
No particular reason, anyhow. They were very small ones.
Seems so silly to go on and on and on and on and on about a thing.
But hardly call 3 dry martinis the whole evening going on and on and on and on.
Become a habit with you.
You needn't be so grand just because you don't happen to want any yourself at the moment.
Stupid.
Oh, really, Amanda?
What?
Nothing. It's a pity you didn't have another martini. It might have made you a little less disagreeable.
It doesn't seem to work such wonders with you.
Snap, snap, snap. Just like a little adder.
Adders don't snap. They sting.
Nonsense. They have a little bag of venom behind their fangs and they snap.
They sting.
They snap?
They sting.
I don't care. Do you understand? I don't care. I don't mind if they bark and roll about like hoops.
Not very funny, dear. You better have another cocktail.
Very good idea. I will.
Ridiculous ass.
I beg your pardon?
I said ridiculous ass.
Thank you. Better turn that radio off, I think.
Why?
Quite late. It'll annoy the people upstairs.
There aren't any people upstairs. It's a photographer's studio.
There are people downstairs, I suppose.
They're away in tuning.
This is no time of the year for tuning.
Turn it on again, please.
I'll do no such thing.
Very well, if you insist on being boorish and idiotic.
Turn it off. It's driving me mad.
You're far too temperamental. Try to control yourself.
Turn it off.
I won't. There. Now you've turned it out of the wall.
Good job, too.
Disagreeable pig.
Amanda, put that radio down. Amanda, darling. Solid. Solid.
Oh, Solid yourself.
You spiteful little beast.
Oh, you struck me. It's is the end, you understand? The end. Finally and forever, I'm leaving.
You're not going away like this.
Oh, yes, I am.
Oh, no, you're not.
Oh, yes, I am.
Oh, no,
Let me.
shut up.
You cruel
Shut up.
thing.
I wouldn't marry you again.
No, you don't.
Falling on your
like in time was your very life.
mean, evil little vampire. I hope I never set eyes on you again so long as I live.
You beast. You beast. You sad. You sad. You beast. Look at this man in your body. Is the right place?
Of course I am. This is a man's apartment. Oh, well, that settles it. There's nobody here.
Why, the door's open.
Oh, that's strange.
Good heavens.
I say, what's been going on here?
I never saw such a
They
family.
tried to kill each other. Amanda!
Elliot!
Not a sound. I say, Sybil, this bedroom door's locked.
Well, take this one.
No, I don't like this at all. Amanda! Amanda!
Elliot!
Amanda! Amanda! It's me, Victor!
I know it is. Go away! Dear, this is awful.
Oh, I say, don't cry, Sybil, old girl.
I can't help it, Victor.
Oh, please don't. I say, please, Sybil.
But why don't they come out? It's all so squalid. I wish now we hadn't come. Oh, what's the use?
Well, we've got to see him before we go back to England. We must get things straightened out, Sybil.
Oh, dear, I wish I were dead. Oh, I'll try to control myself, honey. I'm so tired. That was such a long drive, and I haven't slept properly for ages.
Oh, well, neither have I.
If we hadn't arrived, we did, they'd have killed one another.
They must have been drunk.
Amanda hit him.
He probably hit her, too, earlier on.
I had no idea anyone ever behaved like that. It's so disgusting, so degrading. Elliot, of all people. Oh, dear.
What an escape you've had.
What an escape we've both had.
Good evening, everybody.
Elliot, how could you?
Look here, old man. Does it occur to you that some sort of
How do you
explanation...
do? How do you do? I don't think we've met before. Hello, Sybil.
Oh, Elliot, how could you?
Sybil, I'm awfully sorry.
Well, it's easy enough to be sorry.
On the contrary, I find it extremely difficult. I seldom regret anything. This is a very rare and notable exception. Sort of red letter day. We must all make the most of it.
I'll never forgive you, never. I wouldn't have believed anyone could be so careless and so cruel.
Sybil, I absolutely see your point. I am sorry, but I simply cannot discuss this any further before dinner.
I don't want any dinner.
Oh, yes, you do. You must be famished after that long drive from Deauville. Now then, where's Amanda? I'm sure she's simply dying to see you both. Where'd she go to?
She's in there.
In here? Amanda! Amanda!
Good evening, everybody.
Amanda, we have guests.
Please don't address me. I don't wish to speak to you.
Splendid.
And what's more, I never shall again as long as I live.
He should endeavor to rise above it.
I've been brought up to believe that it's beyond the pale for a man to strike a woman.
A very poor tradition. Certain women should be struck regularly, like gongs.
Hey, how could...
I told you what he was.
He's an unmitigated cad and a bully.
And you're an ill-mannered, bad-tempered slattern.
Slattern?
Yes, slattern, and fishwife.
Keep your mouth shut, you swine.
And you mind your own business.
What do you want? Please, stop me, Amanda. I'm not going to interfere. Let them fight if they want to. It'll probably clear the air anyhow. Yes, but Amanda... Come on into my room. Perhaps you'd like to tidy up before dinner. No, but Amanda... Come along. Very well.
Now then.
Now then, what?
Are you going to take back those things you said to Amanda?
Certainly, I'll take back anything if only you stop bellowing at me.
You're a coward, too.
They want us to fight, don't you see?
No, I don't. Why should they?
Primitive feminine instincts, warring males, very enjoyable.
You think you're very clever, don't you?
I think I'm a bit cleverer than you, but apparently that's not saying much.
What?
Oh, do sit down.
I will not.
Well, if you'll excuse me, Victor, I will. I'm extremely tired.
Oh, for heaven's sake, behave like a man.
Just a minute. All this belligerency is very right and proper and highly traditional, but if only you'll think for a moment, you'll see that it won't get us very far.
Devil with all that.
I should like to explain that if you hit me, I shall certainly hit you, probably equally hard, if not harder. I'm just as strong as you. And you hit me again, and I hit you again. We go on until one of the others knocked out. Now, if you'll explain to me satisfactorily how all that can possibly improve the situation, I'll tear off my coat and we'll go at it hammer and tongs immediately.
But ease my mind.
Only if you won.
I should win all right.
Want to try?
Yes.
Oh, do it then.
Just a moment.
Well?
What did you mean about them wanting us to fight?
It would be a balm to their vanity.
Do you love Amanda?
Is this a battle or a discussion? If it's the latter, I shall put on my coat again. I don't want to catch a chill.
Answer my question, please.
Have a cigarette?
Answer my question.
If you analyze it, it's rather a silly question.
Do you love Amanda?
Not very much at the moment, to be perfectly frank. I'd like to wring her neck.
You're apparently even more of a cad than I thought you were.
You are completely in the right over the whole business. Don't imagine I'm not perfectly conscious of that.
I'm glad.
Oh, very unfortunate.
Unfortunate?
Might have been worse.
I'm glad you think so.
I do wish you'd stop being so glad about everything.
What do you intend to do? That's what I want to know. What do you intend to do?
I don't know. I don't care.
I suppose you realize you've broken that poor little woman's heart.
Which poor little woman?
Sybil, of course.
Oh, come on, honest, that's sad. She'll get over it, forget all about me.
I intend to divorce Amanda.
Very well.
And Sybil will divorce you.
Quiet.
And the sooner you marry Amanda again, the better.
Who said I was going to marry Amanda?
What?
She's a vile-tempered, wicked woman.
I used to thought of that before.
I did think of it before.
Good heavens, man, you've got to marry her.
I'd rather marry a ravening leopard.
Now, look here, old man, I'm sick of all this shilly-shallying. You're getting off a good deal more lightly than you deserve. You can consider yourself lucky I didn't shoot you.
Well, if you had a spark of manliness in you, you would have shot me. You're all fuss and fume. You're one of those cotton-wool Englishmen. I despise you.
You despise me?
Yes, utterly. You're nothing but a rampaging gas bag. Goodbye.
Hey there! Come back, you hear it? You open the door!
Oh, hello.
Amanda.
What's happening, Victor?
Nothing's happening.
You ought to be ashamed to admit it. Where's Elliot?
He locked himself in.
How did you and Elliot get on?
I told him what I thought of him.
That's good. What did you say?
I told him he was beneath contempt.
Good. That's just what he is.
Amanda, I think you must have been mad to go off with him.
I've often thought that myself.
Well, I feel completely lost, completely bewildered.
I don't blame you. I don't feel any too cozy myself.
Amanda, all this tonight. Yes, have you been drinking?
Certainly not.
Elliot's been drinking?
Yes. Gallons.
You see the drink before, when you were married to
Yes,
him?
terribly. Night after night he'd come home roaring and hiccuping.
Disgusting.
Yes, wasn't it?
Amanda,
Yes, Victor?
did he really strike you this evening?
Repeatedly. I'm bruised beyond recognition.
Amanda!
Oh, Victor. I'm most awfully sorry to have given you so much trouble. Really, I am.
You know, I can't understand it at all. I've tried to, but I can't. It all seems so unlike you.
Oh, no. It isn't really unlike me. That's the trouble. I ought never to have married you, Victor. I'm a bad lot.
Amanda!
Don't contradict me. I know I'm a bad lot.
I wasn't going to contradict you.
Victor! Why did you come here?
Find out what you want me to do.
Divorce me, I suppose, as soon as possible. I shan't make any difficulty. I shall go away. Far, far away. Morocco or Tunis or somewhere. I'll probably catch some dreadful fever and die out there all alone. Oh, dear.
Well, it's no use pitying yourself.
I seem to be the only one who does. I might just as well insult.
Amanda, do you love this man?
I hate him.
You want to marry him?
I'd rather marry a boa constrictor.
Amanda, I can't go away and leave you with a man who drinks and knocks you about.
Oh, you needn't worry about leaving me as though I'm a sort of parcel. I can take care of myself.
You said just now you were going away to Tunis to die.
Well, I've changed my mind. It's the wrong time of the year for Tunis. I should go somewhere quite different. I believe Alaska is very nice in the summer. Oh, Victor, I'm thoroughly unprincipled. Sybil was right.
Sybil's an ass.
Yes, she is rather, isn't she? I can't think why Elliot ever married her.
Oh, you can't, Constance. When I'm not there.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, Sybil, you haven't met, have you? This is Sybil Chase, and this is Amanda. Amanda.
How do you do?
How do you do? I heard every word you said.
It's all right, my dear. You're young and inexperienced, so I forgive you freely.
Seeing the depths of degradation to which age and experience have brought you, I'm glad I am as I am.
That was exceedingly rude. I think you'd better go away somewhere.
I will not.
Very well, then I will.
Sybil, how dare you speak to Amanda like that?
Oh, that's right. Take her side. That's what I might have expected.
That's right. Stand up for him. Poor Elliot, that unprincipled roue.
Nothing of the sort.
Shut up.
I won't shut up. When I think of all the things you've said about her, it makes me laugh. It does, really. To see how completely she's got to us.
You can obviously speak with great authority, having had the intelligence to marry a drunkard.
No, that's what she's been telling you.
Yes, she did, and I'm quite sure it's perfectly true.
I expect she admitted to tell you that she drank 14 martinis tonight straight off. And that the reason her first marriage was broken up was that she used to come home at all hours of the night screaming and hiccuping. Victor.
Yes?
You hear that?
What?
The door.
Yes, that was the door.
Victor, I've a strange feeling.
So have I.
You don't suppose...
Sure of it.
You mean...
I do. They've gone.
Gone! Elliot! Elliot, come back!
Amanda! 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 Well, do you remember me? I am Jean-Paul Casimir Dupont, the manager of the Hotel Normandie Deauville. And I have said the Englishmen are crazy. You still do not believe this? You think I exaggerate? Eh bien, a year has gone by. 1 year. And I am sitting in my office at the Hotel Normandie Deauville. Allô? Qui est dans l'appareil? C'est Paris? Allô?
Hello, this is Hotel Normandie Deauville.
Oui.
This is Elliot Chase speaking.
Pardon?
Elliot Chase.
Yes, Monsieur Che.
I want to reserve a suite of rooms, something overlooking the sea.
1 moment, please, I will see. Oui, monsieur, you are very lucky, monsieur. Just this morning is falling through the best room in the hotel. It was living there the ex-Maharaja Brook, number 21.
I'll tell you what, that's fine.
22.
What?
Hello?
22? One moment, please. What's that, Amanda?
22.
What are you talking about?
Oh, Elliot, darling, I tell you it's 22 that the Raja Brook...
Oh, shut up, Amanda.
Elliot,
Shut up.
not stand for this.
Please, shut up.
Give me that telephone.
I will not give you
can't
this
even
telephone.
speak
There's
to
no
the
earthly
voice
reason
of
why I
the
should.
Come on,
There's no reason.
Hello?
Elliot, now listen to this. Amanda, I will not argue any further. Give me
No.
Give me
Get
back
the
the
back.
back the telephone. Amanda.
What do I tell you?
Amanda.
People are afraid.
This concludes the Campbell Playhouse presentation of Private Lives by Noel Coward, starring Gertrude Lawrence and Orson Welles. In just a moment, Miss Lawrence will return to the microphone with Mr. Welles. But in the meantime, a word on behalf of our sponsors. Earlier this evening, I suggested that you serve Campbell's tomato juice this coming Sunday for breakfast. For a great many Americans, Sunday breakfast is a bright spot in the week. Leisure adds to the joy of eating. And Campbell's tomato juice brightens any breakfast, weekday or Sunday. It is the deep red of a very special type of tomato, grown especially for Campbell's. A drink to cheer you by its bright appearance, as well as by its true fresh tomato taste. A drink, too, that by its keen, lively flavor makes a pleasant change from other breakfast drinks. Campbell's own method of canning retains the August fresh flavor of Campbell's tomato juice and brings you the needed vitamins of the fresh tomatoes. Here's a drink that's worth tumbling out of bed for Sunday or any other day. The flavor is always the same, delightfully refreshing. And yet, with all these important advantages, Campbell's tomato juice costs you only a trifle more than the ordinary kind. Is it a date for Sunday breakfast? Ah, that's fine. Let's all have Campbell's tomato juice. And now, here is Orson Welles.
Somebody once said that every man in New York is or has been in love with Gertrude Lawrence. Which, under pressure, I might admit was somewhat exaggerated, but it would serve to indicate how audiences react to her. Miss Lawrence is that rare phenomenon, rare in life and just as rare in the theater. A person with the ability to inject the rich glamour of her own person into whatever situation she happens to be in. Not the least part of this wonderful gift of hers is the grace and effortless ease with which she does it. I'm sure some of that quality of personal magic has come over to you tonight. Certain it is that we are all deeply susceptible to it here in the studio.
Thank you for those kind words, Mr. Wells, but I must rush to my own defense. Too often the life of an actress is reported in rainbow colors, a sort of dream world of continual admiration and excitement. Actually, there is more to it than this. An actress has to be a businesswoman, and it is probably the hardest working business in the world.
That's particularly true in your case, Miss Lawrence, since you could hardly be described, certainly be described as the most hard-working star on the stage in America. Of course, if you've only yourself to blame in this matter, since you insist on appearing only in smash hits. I mean specifically tonight at 8:30, Susan and God, and now this new comedy of yours, the Skylark. That takes care of about 3 years of packed houses, doesn't it? And now, Miss Lawrence, dark rumors have reached us here of your doings as a young child. Just what is this wild tale of you and Noel Coward making your debuts together at the advanced age of 11 in London? Is there any particle of truth in this allegation?
Yes, you're quite correct. Absolutely correct.
Good.
Mr. Coward and I were in dramatic school together, and we did, on one occasion, appear in the same play. It was a Christmas story in London.
And what did you play?
We played Little Angels.
In tonight's Campbell Playhouse production of Private Lives, Miss Gertrude Lawrence was heard in the role of Amanda. Orson Welles played the part of Elliot Chase. Sybil was played by Naomi Campbell, the part of Victor by Robert Speight. The hotel manager was Edgar Barrier. Music for the Campbell Playhouse is arranged and conducted by Bernard Herrmann. And now, Mr. Wells, will you tell us, please, about next week's story?
Next week, ladies and gentlemen, we go back 100 years to the early days of the American Union, when the first paddle steamers puffed their sooty way up the Hudson River. And ox teams were busy pulling senators' carriages out of the deep mud of the Washington streets. Next week, we bring you Black Daniel from the book by that distinguished novelist, Honore Wilson Morrow. The story of the great Daniel Webster and of his love for the beautiful Carolyn Leroy, which brought him from his New England farm to the service of his country and to the defense of the Union. Our guest this evening will be that lovely motion picture star, Miss Joan Bennett. And now until next Friday, until Black Daniel, our sponsors, the makers of Campbell Soup, and all of us in the Campbell Playhouse remain obediently yours.
Campbell Soup join Orson Welles in inviting you to be with us at the Campbell Playhouse again next Friday evening when that beautiful and talented screen star, Joan Bennett, joins him in Honore Morrow's Black Daniel, a love story of the days when the United States was very young. Meanwhile, if you have enjoyed tonight's Campbell Playhouse presentation, won't you tell your grocer so tomorrow when you order Campbell's tomato juice? This is Ernest Chappell saying thank you and good night.
My secret horse was from Conversation Piece. I'll see you again, and Zigeuner from Bittersweet, and Never Again was from Set to Music. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Hollywood, California, Monday, November 16th. The Lux Radio Theater presents Lily Pons and Adolphe Menjou in Conversation Piece, with Marjorie Gateson and George Saunders. Lux presents Hollywood. Our stars, Lily Pons, Adolphe Menjou, Marjorie Gateson, and George Saunders. Our guests, Peg Murray, and Cotton Warburton, film editor and former All-American quarterback. Our producer, Cecil B. DeMille. Our conductor, Louis Silvers. On behalf of our stars, our guests, and sponsors, welcome to another hour in the Lux Radio Theater. There is no better, easier way of keeping your complexion soft, smooth, and clear than through the daily use of Lux toilet soap. It's not surprising, then, that 9 out of 10 of the screen's loveliest stars protect their complexions with Lux toilet soap. What is surprising is that a large cake of this pure white soap costs only a few cents. So little that every girl can use Hollywood's favorite beauty care every day. Remember to buy a supply tomorrow. Thank you. And now, our producer. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille.
Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. Of all the precepts in the Bible, I have found none more pleasant to observe than love thy neighbor. It's not as much to my credit, however, as it is to theirs. for the neighbors in my case happened to be those charming people, Lily Pons and Mr. and Mrs. Adolphe Mongeau. Last year, I rode across the country on the same train with Miss Pons. At that time, her dog was recovering from an operation. Ordinary dogs get nothing more aristocratic than fleas. A prima donna's dog gets appendicitis. As we stopped at each station, the daintiest singer of them all would favor me with a dazzling smile. The result was that I lifted her dog on and off the train all the way from New York to Hollywood. Presenting Adolphe Mongeau as Duke Paul is particularly appropriate. For when I first met him, he was known as the Duke, because though he may have owed for board and lodging, his first day's pay from each production went as a down payment on another suit of clothes. A Mongeau performance today is as brilliant as a Mongeau sport jacket, and that's saying something. Tonight, Lady Julia is Marjorie Gateson, and Lord Shear will be enacted by George Saunders. Miss Pons is heard as Melanie, a cafe singer and acrobat. And now, Noel Coward's conversation piece, starring Lily Pons and Adolphe Mongeau. Our play begins in Paris during the year 1809. We're in a small, shabby cafe called Le Petit Girondin. The hour is late, but the cafe is filled with a drinking, boisterous crowd. At a tiny window, seeking relief from the tobacco-laden air, stands the perfect gentleman of the time, Duke Paul, conspicuous in that crowd for his elegant attire and obvious refinement. He has just been joined by Melanie, exquisitely fresh and untouched. Melanie, too, is quite unlike the others.
Monsieur, you have come too early. I cannot leave until I sing again.
I am impatient to start our new life, mademoiselle. Do you have to juggle your wine barrels, too?
No more tricks. Just one song and I will be finished here for the night.
Finished here for good, Melanie.
Yes, for good.
But you seem gloomy about it.
No, but I'm in a daze. I'm so afraid I am dreaming. It is really true, all this? Or will I just wake up?
Oh, it's quite true. One more turn and you are done with cabarets, finished with tricks, wine barrels, and squalor. But anyone would be in a daze with all this smoke in here.
The window is open. Shall we live out together? Then we can breathe and see the stars.
Well, let's breathe by all means.
Oh, bright it is tonight. You have enough room?
Well, it's a tight squeeze.
Yes, but cozy.
Come now, back to business. You realize that when you sing your last note tonight, Melanie of the cabarets will be no more.
Yes.
And you will leave here with me as Melanie de Tramont.
Who has never been in a cabaret in her life.
Exactly.
Who was a sweet, fair-haired little girl in an old grey chateau with a walled garden.
Yes, excellent, mademoiselle. And whose parents died in the Revolution when she was very young.
I will remember, monsieur.
You will live for the time being with that nice old lady we called upon.
She believes that you are my guardian?
Yes.
And that I am the doctor of your dear old friend, the Marquis de Tramont?
Yes, she suspects nothing.
I'm so glad. It is very flattering to be taken for a Marquis's daughter.
You must see that you learn to act like one. You must be very careful of your speech, your manners, your whole attitude. I will teach you, and I promise to be as patient as I can.
I'm sorry to be so much trouble.
It is a question of business, not trouble. As you are now, almost any man would admire you extravagantly. But no rich man would believe that you were the daughter of a marquis and marry you. And if no rich man married you, you could never pay me a rich commission. Why are you laughing?
Because here we are, stargazing, while you dictate a new life for us, and only a week ago we had never seen each other.
We are not stargazing. We are talking business.
But still, the night is all blue, and here I am, a singing acrobat, unknown and penniless, squeezed in a dusty window with you, a great duke.
Equally penniless and middle-aged.
Oh, no, not middle-aged.
Well, getting on, then.
A little bit, so nice to me.
Look here, mademoiselle, you are talking nonsense.
I'm sorry.
You are not in the least sorry.
Oh, monsieur.
If you were, your eyes wouldn't shine like bonfires.
My eyes?
Put them out.
Yes, monsieur.
Ah, that's better. And no more sentiment, please. Our new life is a sensible business partnership, strictly.
Yes, I know. That is agreed.
Even a great duke must eat. And the revolutionaries left me nothing but those few pictures I told you about, which they somehow overlooked. So you are my only possible business asset.
You always come back to business.
But naturally. We will live on in Paris, as I say, on the little I have saved.
I will be very frugal.
Then, when we are ready, perhaps something will turn up. Enough money to take us to England and a rich and doting husband for you.
I see.
England is where we will catch him.
Melanie, come here.
I'm sorry. They are calling me. I have to squeeze back now and sing.
All right. Your last song, mademoiselle.
I choose it carefully.
A fitting swan song?
No, not a swan song. It is a promise. Listen to it, please. Because it is about someone rather like me who promises that she will not betray you and destroy your plans, but who will follow her secret heart, no matter what prices pay, until she finds love.
Melanie, where are you? Come here.
I don't know. This nasty ship keeps pushing about me. I'm drenched from the waves, and the wind is shocking me. Where are you?
Here, by the railing.
Oh, quick one, catch me.
Here, hold on. Are you all right?
No, I'm miserable. What do you want?
Look, off there. Those lights.
Yes, what there are?
Melanie, those lights are England.
England? Are you sure?
Of course.
It looks like rock.
2 years we have been waiting for this moment, and now we're here.
No, quite. Oh.
Think what it means, Melanie. We have enough money left from the 2 pictures I sold to keep us going properly for 3 months. And you are changed into a perfect aristocrat.
Not perfect enough to fool your friend.
Who?
That woman we met here on the boat. Lady Julia. I think she's suspect.
Nonsense. Lady Julia couldn't possibly suspect. You are an aristocrat. And there is England teeming with rich men.
It doesn't look it.
We have only one handicap left. You're English.
Don't worry. It is coming.
Yes, at a snail's pace. Once in England, you will speak only English.
Oui, Paul.
The solicitor who engaged your little house in Brighton has also engaged a maid for you who cannot speak one word of French. Her name is Rose.
Rose? I think she will be a thorn.
Good morning, Monsieur le Duc.
Good morning, Rose.
You're bright and early, sir.
I told you I would be today to go over Mademoiselle's bills for the month.
I have them all ready for you on Mademoiselle's desk.
Thank you. And how is Mademoiselle's English this morning?
I don't know, sir, but my French is improving by leaps and bounds.
I see. There seems to be a lot of veal on this butcher's bills.
I keep telling Mademoiselle that it's unreliable.
It's not its integrity I question, but its cost. What is this bill here?
Oh, that, humbug, sir.
Huh?
They're sort of big bullseyes.
Bullseyes?
Ooh, not real ones, sir. They're sweets. Candy. You tuck one in your cheek and it keeps you going for hours. Mademoiselle's very partial to them.
Good morning, Melanie.
Oh, mon Dieu, personne ne m'a dit.
English, Melanie, English.
Oh, I did not know you were here.
That's the girl now, Rose.
Thank you, sir.
Melanie, what on earth's that lump on your cheek?
Humbug. They are delicious. Paul, are you mad again?
You have been speaking French to Rose and eating too much veal.
Please, I'm sorry.
Veal is unreliable and expensive. You are eating too many sweets, and unless you learn English quickly, we shall have to go away, just as we came, without money, without position, without anything.
Please, do not be angry with me this morning. It is my birthday.
Again?
Well, I feel like my birthday.
How can I make you realize that life is serious? Look at these bills. We've been in Brighton a month.
Yes, Paul.
And nothing has happened at all.
Alors, what will you have me do? Have no food? Have no clothes? Go out into the street in rags and say, marry me to every man I see, or comme vous êtes fâcheux ce matin.
English?
Zut.
You must.
Listen, I will be sensible, even in English. I will try to be sensible, but you must not ask me to be serious. This adventure must be gay and funny.
That's because today you feel particularly happy without reason, just as yesterday you felt miserable without reason. You are a creature entirely without balance.
I was an acrobat once.
Kindly remember that you spent your lisping, carefree childhood in the walled garden of an old grey chateau feeding swans.
What is lisping?
Never mind. You have never even seen an acrobat, let alone been one. Now then, business, Melanie. What did Lord Shear say to you last night?
Not very much, but he was very ardent.
He's coming here this morning.
This morning?
I wrote him a little note from you. I will receive him, and when I have talked to him for a little, he will propose marriage. When he does, you will accept him.
When may I love somebody, please?
Love has nothing to do with our agreement.
I see.
What's the matter?
It doesn't feel like my birthday anymore.
Please, Melanie, no sentiment.
And what if I fell in love?
Fell in love?
Yes. What if I fell in love?
But why all this talk of love? I tell you it has nothing to do with our agreement.
But what if I could not help it, in spite of your agreement?
Then we could have to go away and start all over again. Now, please stop talking nonsense.
It is not nonsense. You are so sure that everything in life can be arranged just so, like arithmetic.
But why not? Emotion is so very untidy.
That is how you feel.
Exactly.
Very well. I will see our young Lord Shear, but I have not forgotten my promise, Paul.
Promise?
That last night at a cafe, to follow my secret heart.
Good morning, mademoiselle.
Good morning, Lord Shear.
I've just been having a talk with your guardian.
Oh, yes?
He said I might see you.
Oh, it is very nice day. It is not.
Very nice.
So pretty. Everything here in England is so fresh and clean. Look out there, out of the window, that little boat. How do you say? Sailboat?
Yes, that's a sailing boat.
So graceful in the sunshine, like a white butterfly.
Yes. Melanie, I had no idea you had a
guardian?
Yes. He said that he understands I want to marry you.
Did he?
Melanie, I didn't know. When I spoke to you last night, I wasn't sure of what I wanted. I'm not sure now, but don't you...
But you speak too quickly. Please do not speak so quickly. Why do you stare at me?
Who are you, really?
I am Mélanie de Tramont, the daughter of the Marquis de Tramont. My father was killed in the Revolution. My mother also, and my little brother Armand.
And your 4 other brothers and 4 sisters. I know all that. Your guardian told me.
Oh.
A large family.
Very large.
You love them?
Yes, they are very nice.
And your guardian, you love him?
Yes.
I see.
The father.
Who are you, really?
Oh, go away.
Who are you?
I don't know. Oh, please.
I love you, Melanie.
No.
It's true. It feels strange, as though I weren't quite awake. And yet at the same time, more awake than I've ever been before. You see, I'm not very old, not very experienced yet, and... Well, it's the first time.
Oh, this is very uneasy.
Why? Didn't you expect it?
No, like this.
You wanted me to love you, didn't you? Both you and your guardian?
No,
You see, I'm not quite so young as all that, not quite a fool. My eyes are wide open. Oh, there's a lot I don't understand. A trick, some sort of trick. I feel it with all my instincts, but I don't care. I feel more than that. I feel that you're very lovely and very sweet, and that's enough. Will you please Please be my wife.
Leave me, I beg of you.
Don't hide your face in your hands. Look at me.
No.
Melanie.
Go away, please. Please, go away.
In just a moment, we will continue with Conversation Piece starring Lily Pons and Adolphe Menjou. Now, let's pay a visit to a typical Hollywood home. The family's sitting down to a 6 o'clock dinner, but we'll go upstairs and tune in on Anne, the pretty daughter of the house. Here she is.
Gee, I would get stuck on the lot just when I have a date. Now I'm terribly late. I'm so tired. I hate to go out with Bill when I feel like this. Oh, but 3 cheers. I've got a good idea.
Luckily, Anne knows a secret she learned from movie stars. And half an hour later, listen to what she says.
I'll say that Lux Toilet Soap Beauty Bath makes a girl come to. I'm ready for a large evening now. I'm dancing on air. And what a fragrance that nice soap has. I feel like a million. They'll got to think I look it.
A Lux Toilet Soap Beauty Bath is soothing, refreshing. Its active lather is so thorough that it removes from your pores stale perspiration, every trace of dust and dirt. That's why it keeps neck and back and shoulders soft and clear. Why it protects daintiness, leaves skin sweet. That's why lovely screen stars like Loretta Young, Carol Lombard, Anita Louise use it. And why you're sure to like it. Try this luxurious, inexpensive beauty bath tomorrow. And now, Mr. DeMille.
We continue with Conversation Piece, starring Lily Pons and Adolphe Menjou, with Marjorie Gateson and George Saunders. It's several days later. In the little house in Brighton, Melanie waits eagerly for Paul to pay his daily visit. At the sound of a footstep, she turns quickly. But it's only Charles, the servant.
Mademoiselle.
Yes, Charles?
There's a lady and gentleman to see you, mademoiselle.
Who are they?
The Duke and Duchess of Benedictine.
The Duke and Duchess? Lord Cheers' parents?
Yes, mademoiselle.
Where are they, Charles?
In the sitting room, mademoiselle.
Thank you. I will go and see them. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You are Mademoiselle de Tremont?
Oui?
I am the Duchess of Benedictine, and my husband, the Duke.
Monsieur?
How do you do? Please forgive us for calling on you so unexpectedly. But I believe you are acquainted with my son, Lord Shah.
One moment, my love. Don't rush, madam.
If you please, Frederick.
Yes, my love.
Won't you sit down, Duchess?
Thank you. As I said before, I believe you are acquainted with my son.
You are come to ask a service?
Yes, mademoiselle. We have.
Then I do not understand, Duchess, how your manner is so impolite.
Oh, my wife is upset. Naturally upset.
Why?
Well, Edward is our only son.
Is that not more your fault than mine?
It's no use banding words, Frederick, and wasting time. Mademoiselle, my son is infatuated with you. But he's young, and that infatuation will not last. It must not last. My husband and I are fully prepared to compensate you within reason.
Yes.
Compensate? What is that, compensate?
Money.
Money? You will pay me money?
Yes, if you will give us your word that you will never see my son again.
If I love him, what then?
That is beside the point.
I think you will perhaps go now.
£500.
It is very charming, your son, and his eyes are very clear and blue. I think he will be angry.
£1,000.
I'm tired, madame. I cannot sit down until you go. Excuse me if I ring my maid.
I would rather like to make one thing clear to you.
Georgiana.
Quiet. If my son marries without his parents' consent, he will not have a penny. Not a penny. Do you understand that?
Georgiana, please.
You rang, mademoiselle? Yes, Rose. The Duke and Duchess are leaving.
Come, Georgiana. Come, my dear.
My maid will show you out.
It will not be necessary. Good afternoon.
Rose, quick, some sherry. My legs will not stand. My goodness, her face when she went out. My goodness, her face all the time. Oh, Rose. How my heart beats for her poor husband.
I beg pardon, mademoiselle. There's a lady to see you.
What? Another one?
Lady Julia Charteris. She said she met you on the boat coming over.
Oh, that one? I do not wish to see her. Tell her I'm far, far away.
Yes, mademoiselle.
Good afternoon. Oh, please forgive me, but it was so drafty in the hall.
Oh, yes. That will be all, Charles.
Yes, mademoiselle.
Will you sit down?
Thank you.
I fear that Monsieur le Duc is not here.
Yes, I know. It was you I wished to see. I've recently come to Brighton, and I've been so wanting to see you again.
I'm very happy, madame.
I have so much to talk to you about. Your guardian and I spent a great deal of our childhood together in France, you know.
That is very nice.
It was such a pleasant surprise to see him again on the boat. I had thought he was dead.
No, he's alive.
Yes. I knew your father many years ago, the Marquis de Tramont.
Yes?
Oh, a most witty and delightful man.
Yes, he was very nice.
I don't remember that he had any children.
Oh, yes, two. One boy and one girl. I was the girl.
Oh? Where did you live when you were a child?
A grey walled chateau near Bordeaux. It's all very distant in my mind.
The Chateau de Tramont, no doubt.
Yes. There was a small water and swans. I spent all my early years lisping there.
Oh? Well, you haven't got a lisp now.
No, I lost it in the Revolution.
You remember very little about your early life?
It is so far away.
So very far away from the truth.
Madame!
Oh, my dear child, don't be absurd. The whole story is idiotic. You've been very badly rehearsed. Paul should be ashamed of himself.
I do not understand what you speak, madame.
Oh, nonsense.
And I do not understand why you come here.
I came to find out what you were like, to see what sort of plaything Paul had picked out for himself.
Plaything? I am no plaything.
Oh, come. You can hardly expect me to believe that.
How dare you speak those words to me?
Oh, there's no necessity for you to lose your temper, my dear.
How dare you? Leave here at once. At once. Do you hear? Paul!
What in the world? Oh, Julia, I didn't know you were coming.
Tell her to go away at once. Tell her, Paul.
Melanie, be careful.
No, enough of being careful. Enough of these English busybodies.
I congratulate you, Paul. She has a fine spirit.
My dear Julia, what has happened?
I have been insulted.
Insulted?
Yes. First, by the very charming mother of Lord Shear. And now, by this snooping camel.
Melanie, Lady Julia is a very old friend.
But she has no right to come here and call me your plaything.
What?
Yes, your plaything, to my face.
I will not stand for you taking that tone.
You want me to marry Lord Shear, do you? Very well. But after, you will have no penny, not one, and I shall be forced to do tricks again. Melanie de Tramont in a cabaret? That will be charming. And a lot of good it will do you.
This is idiotic.
It is, and I will not stand anymore. Not for you, not for the love of heaven. I'm going back to France tomorrow, if I have to swim there.
It's all very interesting, Paul.
It was unkind of you to come here and bully the child.
I didn't bully her. I merely wanted to find out who she was.
I see. Well, it's an odd story, Julia. Quite fantastic, in fact.
May I hear it?
If you wish. First, I should like to speak to Melanie for a moment. Do you mind?
Not at all. I'll be here when you come back.
Thanks. I won't be long. Melanie. Melanie.
Yes.
Come here. I want to speak to you.
Yes.
Melanie, why did you speak like that in front of Lady Julia?
I hate her.
That's quite beside the point. Don't you realize that if you persist in treating people as you do, that our